Yo, all right. I think I'm all set up, ready to go. Shit, man, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute, man. You see the title of the video. You see the title of the video, man. I'm a little bit late to the party, but better late than never. I pay attention, man. I pay attention. I still watch the fights. I still listen to some of my favorite channels. I'm always paying attention, but you know, this is one reason why it's hard for me to be motivated to come on here consistently, man. Because of this, because boxing, like, we love boxing, but a lot of times boxing doesn't love us back. And I don't like to live my life like that. Period. All things in life. You know what I'm saying? If I can't continue to deal with people's bullshit. But you know what, man? I feel compelled. I feel compelled to come out here and give you guys my thoughts about the fight. I didn't watch it live. I've been extremely busy on the weekends lately. I literally have no time to sit down and watch anything on the weekends. I'm just grinding. Weekends are big for me business wise. So I had to wait a few days to sit back and watch it. If you guys follow me on the IG, I told you guys that I was going to watch it, and I told you guys that I'll come on live and let you guys know how I saw the fight. It's a big fight, and I would be remiss if I didn't come out here and give you guys my thoughts. Everybody has already came out and said what they feel about the fight. I think I've listened to majority of the channels that I normally listen to. And I did that even before I watched the fight because, sometimes before I watch a fight, if I miss the fight live, I'll actually tune in to hear post-fight thoughts. It sounds crazy, right? Because I would imagine that a lot of people will be like, no, I don't want to hear nothing. I just want to watch the fight, and then I'll see for myself. But sometimes I just want to hear what people are saying. So I already knew going into watching the fight that Devin Haney got the decision. And a lot of channels were, it was split, man. It was split. There were a lot of people saying that the scorecards were correct. Devin Haney deserved the victory. And then there were a lot of people that were saying that Lomachenko got robbed. So that actually makes me even more hyper-focused watching the fight. You feel what I'm saying? Because I hear what people are saying. It's like, oh, well, supposedly it's a controversial fight. Supposedly a guy got robbed. So when I watch the fight, I'm even more hyper-focused. I'm not really watching it as a fan anymore on an entertainment value. I'm actually watching it to really critique it and analyze it. So that's what I did. And so I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it, on how I saw the fight. Hey, Mingus Allen, the first one in the building, letting you guys know that I know I'm not on here all the time. But I would appreciate 50 likes to get this party started. We got Omega Red in the building. Salute to you. Note Zay, what's up? K-Rod in the building, what's good? Teach in the building. DP Rock in the building. Skywalker, what's good, man? So, look, I'm going to dive into it. I know 78's live right now, but y'all don't get to listen to Divine Sense very often. So I'm going to say this once and probably not going to revisit it unless someone pisses me off. And then I might stick around for a minute. So before I attack the question, which has been proposed and in the title of the video, was Lomachenko robbed? I'll get into that. But let me let you guys know what I saw with the fight. Like I said, I watched it very carefully, right? Very, very carefully, because I don't like to be swayed or anything like that. I like to use my own eyes, my own ears, use my own energy, everything when I watch these type of fights, because when I come on here and I say the things that I say, I take the shit serious. I'm not here to pander to nobody. I don't give a shit. This is Divine Sense Boxing, a sovereign nation. That's it. But I'm going to give it to you guys raw and authentic. Devin Haney, a few things. Devin Haney was clearly the bigger man in the fight. There's no doubt about that. Okay, it showed. It showed. Most people knew that and expected that going into the fight. A lot of talk was being had about, he may be weight drained and stuff like that because he had to actually go down and weight a bit to fight Loma. Loma's always been a smaller fighter. But it was clear. These are the little things that people don't really talk about all the time, but it was clear that Devin was definitely bigger. Not only bigger, but longer, right? Had a huge reach advantage. It was very apparent in the beginning part of the fight. He used his range very, very well, which is what you're supposed to do as the bigger, taller, longer fighter, is fight from range. I felt like Devin Haney did very well in the beginning part of the fight. I don't have my scorecard right in front of me. I actually forgot to get it before I went to live, but I think at one point I had Devin Haney up by like 4 or 5 rounds. I think it was like 6 rounds to 1 or 5 rounds to 2 or some shit like that. Like he on my scorecards when I was watching it, he had a comfortable like 4 to 5 round lead going into like 8 or 9 or some shit like that. It got to the point in the fight where I actually thought that Devin Haney is gonna, I mean, he's gonna win comfortably. There was a point in the fight. I don't remember what round it was. And Lomachenko had his moments. Don't get me wrong. He had his moments. I feel like I don't know if the crowd per se, I don't really play into the crowd too much. I watch fights muted half the time. And let me say this before. You know what? I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold that thought. Let me get through this. Let me walk through this real quick. Because there's a couple pet peeves. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple things that pissed me the fuck off trying to watch this fight. I had to, at one point, mute it. I had to mute the shit. Okay? I don't know what some of these commentaries, what their deal is. I don't know if they're doing it for an agenda. They do it because they like to do it, or they want to ruffle feathers, or they're just straight up arrogant. I don't know. But I'll talk about that in a moment. Lomachenko definitely had his moments in the fight. He caught Devin Haney a few times in that southpaw position. He got some clean shots in, no doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, man, I don't know how many times I have to say this over and over and over and over again over the past fucking decade. Okay? In a championship fight, well, I mean, at this level, it's sad that I have to remind people of this, but I will. It's 12 rounds. 12 rounds in a fight, right? 12 rounds in a fight. And how many minutes we got per round? Right? You don't win a round by landing a couple big shots. You don't win a round by winning 30 seconds of the round. You don't win a round by winning a minute of the round. That's why there's a time limit per round to win majority of the time in that round. And fuck what people talk about. Oh, well, yeah, you could be winning the whole round, and then there's that 5 seconds where you got clipped and wobbled, and then that means you lost the round. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, and I'm more than happy. Anybody that wants me to challenge me on that, knock on the door. Because you're literally discrediting a man's work for 2.5 minutes, and then you say he loses the round because he got clipped and wobbled, or he got backed up against the ropes or something like that. I don't agree with that. A fighter could be whooping another fighter's ass for 2.5 minutes. Oh, but he got clipped. He didn't get dropped. Oh, but he got hurt. He covered up, or he went against the ropes, or he had to hold on for a couple of seconds, so he loses the round. I mean, I just don't agree with that. Okay? I judge rounds for the entirety of the whole round, the whole duration of the round. Punches thrown, punches landed, ring generalship, defense, right? Everything. See, that's the problem with boxing fans, is they're sitting there on the edge of their seat looking for big punches. And when a big punch lands, they're like, yep, he won that round. And they're not taking into consideration all the other work that the other man's doing. What's up, Malcolm? I'm glad you're in here, bro. You think Loma won? Great. I'm glad you're in here. Let's balance out the conversation. So, for people just joining, what's up, SM? For people just joining, I had Devin Haney controlling the beginning of the fight. You can't convince me otherwise. using range, using the jab, straight right hand. I mean, he was offsetting Loma. Loma's trying to do his little sidestep and get underneath, and he would do a little flurry, a little combo, get the crowd into it. But Devin Haney defended himself well. He did, especially beginning of the fight, the first 7-8 rounds. He defended himself well, and not enough credit was given to him for his defense. Not enough credit was given to Devin Haney for his defense. We're talking about Lomachenko. See, here's the thing. This was a big fight for a reason. It doesn't matter how much you want to discredit Loma. You don't like the way he does this or that and whatever. Like, at the end of the day, this was a big fight. Lomachenko was a real live threat. This is the guy that has been built up in the media, not by me, not by a lot of YouTube content creators, but through, the big dogs, the big boxing media out here. They're the ones that built up Loma, talking about, oh man, look how swift his footwork is, and he's moving around so gracefully and so smooth and so nice. He puts combos together, this, that, whatever. They built him up like that. But he didn't look like that against Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney is the undisputed champion for a reason. Devin Haney is skilled. So it was a relatively close fight. It was. I'm not saying that Devin Haney won convincingly, and well, you can say convincingly if you had him winning on your scorecards, but he didn't blow Lomachenko out of the water. It was a very competitive fight. I had to pay attention to that fight very, very closely because it was so competitive. In my opinion, Devin Haney, what's up, Tom? What's up, the AP, the accountability partner? What's good? What's up, Teach? In my opinion, Devin Haney was controlling the beginning of the fight. Loma, you could have given him a couple of rounds here and there in that first 9-round gap. Okay, you could have. I think I gave him maybe 2 or 3 in that 9-round gap. So I think I had Devin Haney up by going into the 10th round. I had him up by at least 3 rounds, minimum 3 rounds. And I want to say this too. Yo, when do we not, in professional boxing, not the amateurs, in professional boxing, when do we stop counting body shots as scoring punches? When did we stop doing that? When do we stop doing that? Because I'll tell you what, right now, Devin Haney was touching that man's body up like it was nobody's business. Jab to the body, left hook to the body, right hand to the body, uppercut to the sternum, on the inside, on the outside. Lomachenko does not protect his body well. He never has. And Devin Haney exposed it. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Those body shots made him hesitant. And people talk about, oh man, he looking great shape. He's 35 years old and this, that, whatever. I mean, I give the man full credit. 35, off for like a year, and he was getting touched in the body like crazy. And I give him the credit because I thought it was done. Like, I thought this shit, Devin Haney gonna win this fight by 4 rounds. Easy. But 10 and 11, Lomachenko got a second wind. He got a second. And by him winning those 2 rounds, I believe on my scorecard, it became an even fight. It was a draw going into the 12th round on my scorecards. And I said to myself, started the 12th round, I said, Devin Haney, if I don't know what Bill's saying to him in the corner, but you got to make sure you win this last round, bro. And he did. Devin Haney did. Devin Haney came out in that 12th round and he handled his business and he closed it out. Therefore, I scored it 115 to 113 Simple as that. And I'm more than happy to argue against anybody. Okay? Look, Lomachenko has a problem. He's always had a problem of starting late in fights. He did the same shit against Teofimo Lopez. He did the same shit. Right? Too worried about trying to look slick and, and he'll literally take a whole minute and a half off. And then he'll come out, throw a combo, land some good punches and do some fancy footwork and look nice, and thinking that's going to win him the round. It doesn't win him the round. This is not amateur boxing, bro. This is not. Rigondeaux used to have the same problem. Rigondeaux, y'all remember him, right? He used to have the same problem. It's that long, extensive, and arguably too long of an amateur boxing career or history, right? You cannot fight an amateur style in the professional ranks, bro. And they have that same problem. They start late. They don't fight they don't control the round for the full duration of the round. They think by scoring, 6 or 7 clean punches that's going to give me the edge. No, that's what happens in amateur boxing. You got one guy working behind the stick, hitting the body, whatever the case may be, but the guy who lands the cleaner punches in amateur boxing usually gets the nod. But this is professional boxing, bro. And I don't know how Lomachenko at 35 years old, with all the skills and abilities that he hasn't figured that shit out yet. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, well, Devon, what do you want him to do? You want him to come out aggressively in the first part of the fight? Well, actually, I think that he did. I think he actually tried to impose his will early. But see, this is where people discredit Devin. Y'all think Devin's a fool. Do you think that he thought that Lomachenko is going to come out and fight on the back foot? Why would he try to fight on the back foot when he's the shorter fighter with less reach, and he's not a pure boxer? He has very good boxing fundamentals, in my opinion, but he's not a pure boxer, working behind the stick, picking his shots, fighting from range. No, he likes to keep his head off the line, use his footwork, and punch around his opponent. Okay? Lomachenko, Devin Haney, and Bill Haney knew damn good and well that Lomachenko was not going to come out and try to box on the back foot. He's going to come forward, and he did. But that's where people need to give Devin his credit, because his game plan was legit. He was ready for that. It took Lomachenko quite a while to get consistent. He had moments, but he wasn't consistently winning rounds. So I just think that I scored at 115, 113. Okay? I think that's a fair scorecard. I don't know how you can argue against that. I feel like if you argue against that and you said, nah, man, Loma got it, it's the other way around. Loma got it 115, 113. I've seen people say Loma won 116. I've seen people saying Loma won by 3 or 4 rounds. I'm like, what? Either I'm going to say it, okay? Because I don't give a fuck, man. At this point in time, I come on here 2 or 3 times a month. I don't give a fuck. Either you are a Loma dick rider, or you're a Devin Haney hater. I said it. If you have Lomachenko winning this fight by more than a round, you either a Devin Haney hater or a Loma dick rider. Period. And I watched it slowly and carefully without any bias. I got no reason to be a bias. I'm not on YouTube consistently and actively enough to be biased anyway. I ain't got no dog in this fight. If Loma wins, if he wins fair and square, he wins fair and square. It doesn't matter to me. It didn't make no difference to me. But I just feel like even when he beat Kambosos, not once but twice, people still try. He look all right, but he ain't got no power though. He ain't got no power. What are you gonna do with Tank? He ain't got no power, bro. Like, he look nice and all that, but he ain't got no juice behind those punches, bro. People try to nitpick Devin Haney, and I'm just like, look, man, y'all can say what you want to say about Devin Haney not having no power, and he can't put any juice behind his punches and hurt his opponents, man. But I tell you what he is doing. He boxing their ass off. That's what he's doing. On a boxing standpoint, on the fundamentals, on the ins and outs of boxing, the X's and O's, there's not very many people that's doing it better than Devin Haney. If I want to bring my daughter to the boxing gym to introduce her to boxing, I want her to sit down and watch somebody like Devin Haney. Real talk. You know why? Because a guy like Devin Haney, with his skill set, with his ring IQ, that he's going to display the sport of boxing how it should be displayed. Defense, range, picking your shots, working the body, patience, when to tie up, when to throw punches, work on the inside, everything. Is he the most devastating puncher? Obviously not, but he doesn't need to be. Devin Haney is in shape to go 12 rounds every time he steps into the ring. So, like I said, I scored it 115-113 for Devin Haney. I feel that's very fair. That's unbiased. I obviously gave Lomachenko a fair amount of rounds. He did have moments. He did look good in the fight. It's not that he looked terrible or Devin Haney completely outclassed him, but Devin Haney was slightly better. Simple as that. Slightly better. Slightly sharper. Slightly crisper. Had a better game plan, in my opinion. Lomachenko at moments in the fight looked lost. He's like, do I go forward or do I go backwards? Do I try to throw a combination? Do I try to let my hands go or do I not let my hands go? Because he's dealing with a high caliber fighter. He ain't faced nobody like Devin Haney before. Name me one person that Lomachenko has fought that has the skill set of Devin Haney. I'll wait. 115-113, man. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't. And I had it a draw going into the 12th round. Lomachenko came in and he straight up dominated the 10th and 11th round. Lomachenko dominated those 2 rounds. But you see, this is what impresses me about Devin Haney, is that he knows he lost 10 and 11. It doesn't matter what Bill says. He knows in his heart it's a close fight. And you know what, Devin Haney, as young as he is, and how people like to criticize him about his youth and whatever, he showed a lot of maturity. And he showed like veteran experienced qualities to come out in that 12th round to make sure that he solidified that victory. Because he could have came out like he did the 11th round and got smacked around and fuck around and get a draw or lose that fight. Okay? So he went in there, showed maturity, and showed that he's been doing this for a very long time. He knew what he needed to do. And he went in there and handled business. Now that you guys got my scorecard now you know how I scored the fight. Let me get into some deeper shit now. And I'm more than happy. Now that I got the scorecards out, I don't know, maybe there's some people there that want to come at me. So there's a link in the chat, but I ain't gonna wait forever. I'll tell you that. So let me get into some deep shit now. Now that I gave you guys my scorecards, now you know how I saw the fight. Just to recap it, not enough credit was given to Devin Haney for the body shots, man. I mean, he was racking up body shots like he was stacking up dominoes, bro. He was stacking them up. Okay. I mean, if something wasn't open, he was going to the body. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't even think Lomachenko landed like 10 body shots the whole fight. Lomachenko was head hunting the whole fight. Now, how the fuck is that a complete fighter? And I ain't trying to hate on Loma like that. I don't have any disdain or any hatred for the man. I think he's a quality fighter. But I'm sitting up here thinking like, yo, if Loma would have went to the body like Devin did, we might have a different conversation. But he did it. He was trying to like use his footwork to get that he was trying to get that left hand in there in that southpaw position. That's what he kept trying to do over and over and over again. He got it in a couple of times. But Devin's always ready. He's waiting for that. He's waiting for that sidestep, come across, and throw that left hand in. Hey, Lomachenko was out there trying to do some Pacquiao shit. Like, straight up. He was in there, like, doing all this and trying to use the jab to get inside and get a big left hand in. Which on that note, why is nobody giving credit to Devin Haney for his durability, for his stamina, for his chin? I don't remember what round it was, but man, he took a big shot from Loma. I think it was like 10 or 11. Well, I don't know if it was one of those two rounds or a little bit earlier in the fight. But he got hit flush. And he ate that shit. Okay? And people are like, "Oh, well, but Loma, he don't hit like Tank though." But we ain't talking about Tank. We're talking about Loma right now. And in the ring against Loma couldn't hurt Devin. Like, he couldn't legitimately hurt him. Devin, let me round this out for y'all real quick. Devin Haney, to be honest with you, as much as people want to say, "Oh, I wish he had more power," bro. Look, Devin Haney don't need to knock nobody out. He's got the skill set to whoop your ass for 12 rounds. He's good with that. I'm good with that. Fuck what the fans want. I'm paying to watch a boxing match. If I want to watch a strongman competition, then I go watch a strongman competition. If I want to go watch somebody knock somebody out, I'll wait for Wilder to fight next. He'll probably knock someone the fuck out. But when I sit down and watch a Devin Haney fight, I get my popcorn, I get my lemonade, I pop my feet up, and I'm about to watch a fucking boxing match. That's what I'm about to do. He doesn't need to knock nobody out. And I'm getting tired of people talking about, "Oh, well, if he had more power, I'll give him more credit." What? Man, shut up. You don't know shit about boxing, bro. Period. Now, Tank is a different matter. Tank, when you sit down and watch a Tank fight, Tank can be losing the whole goddamn fight. He can be losing the whole fight. And then he just duck underneath, boom, lights out, game over. It's like you waiting for that shit. You waiting for it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. But Devin Haney's not that fighter. It's like back in the day. Well, not that back in the day, but, you know, in recent memory with Mayweather, where people are saying, oh, you know, if he had some power, you'd be more interesting to watch. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you in your opinion. If you don't like to watch Mayweather put on a boxing clinic, then fuck you. How about that? Nobody asked you to pay, but your bitch ass still pays. You're still paying the pay-per-view, out there hating on the man, talking about, oh, man, shit, man, I'm going to pay for it because, you know, hopefully the other guy knocks him out because this guy ain't got no power. So I'm going to pay and hope that he gets knocked out because I'm tired of watching him box all the time. Well, you watching the wrong sport, bro. I mean, you're more than welcome to watch two men roll around on the floor on UFC if that's more your thing. And I'm not hating on it, but this is boxing. And I get bent out of shape when people over-criticize, over-analyze, and talk shit about a man who's putting a whole plethora amount of skill set in the fucking ring, man. That's just disrespectful. And you know I'm going to come out of the woodwork to talk about this type of shit. I don't make a video for 2 months. But something like this, yep. You just wait. You just wait. Oh, Divine Sin's coming eventually. I just don't get it, man. I just don't. Like, why can't you give this man his flowers? Y'all want Lomachenko to win that bad? What has Lomachenko done for you? What has he done for you that you want him to win so badly? And I see my man Teach's comment here. I see my man Teach. You know I got mad love for Teach, man. Been on the channel for a minute, supporting. I guess my issue with this fight, although Devin clearly won, I felt he needed to do it more convincingly. Here's the thing. For all the people out there, and maybe Teach, you know, he's brave enough to say it, so I respect. Some people don't. Some people just sit back and listen. They don't comment. They don't make a little comment in the comment section. So that's a fair. I mean, that's a fair breakdown. If you feel like Devin could have done more, I mean, I guess. Okay. But here's the thing, man. First thing is styles make fights. Second thing is that there's levels to this, man. There's levels, right? Devin was in the ring against arguably one of the best lightweights that have been around the past, 10 years. One of the most decorated amateur fighters that we've ever known. You know what I mean? Like, this is a quality fighter, man. He can't go in. First off, Devin's style is not Pretty Boy Floyd, where he's like boxing, he hurts you, and then he tries to take you out. He's never been that. He's never been Pretty Boy Floyd. As much as we would love to see that, he's just not. For Devin Haney to throw caution to the wind and try to finish you, he's got to see that you're like absolutely clearly hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he landed, you back up, your knees buckle, something like that. He might step. Well, I would say he might. I think he would step to you and finish you. But Loma he's a tough son of a bitch, bro. Like, he's tough as fuck. Loma's tough, and he's quality. I'm not disappointed at Devin's performance at all. I thought he did a hell of a job against a high quality fighter and Lomachenko. Obviously, if you put Lomachenko in the ring against Kambosos, who wins that fight? Lomachenko will beat Kambosos' ass just like Devin Haney beat his ass. Because there's levels to this. Kambosos, no disrespect to him, but he's going to hang his hat. When his career's all said and done, he's going to hang his hat on the fact that he beat Teofimo Lopez. I don't see Kambosos ever winning at the top level ever again. That's just my opinion. Okay, and so there's levels to this. I'm not upset at Devin Haney and his performance at all. I mean, every fighter can always say, "Oh, I could have done a little bit better," but he did enough, and the right man won. All right, K-Rod, I got you, bro. Sorry, I'm cooking right now, bro, but I'll let you cook. Karma Boxing MMA, what's good with you, man? I appreciate the super chat, bro. Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Thanks for kicking off the super chats, man. Much love. So I'm not mad at Devin, man, and his performance. I think he did enough. And I think the scorecards were good, other than the one card that was, I don't remember what it was, but it was a travesty. So now that you guys know who I saw winning the fight, how I saw the fight, and what my scorecards are, let's talk about some deeper shit now. To be honest with you, even if you felt deep down that Lomachenko won the fight, let's just say we've got like 10 people in the chat right now, 10 people watching the live that thought, I don't know, Divine, I still think Loma edged it out. Fine. I think we should all agree, despite who you had winning the fight, that 116, 112, that my man Teach just pointed out, bro, that shit, nah. There's something broken, okay? There's something that's extremely broken that needs to be fixed. It doesn't matter if you thought that Loma won the fight. The 116, 112 for Loma, that shit did not happen in this lifetime. That shit did not happen, bro. I'm sorry. It didn't happen. And to make it worse, that same judge that scored at 116, 112, if I'm not mistaken, actually gave Devin Haney the 11th round, which he clearly lost. Devin Haney clearly lost that round. You know what I mean? If Ray Charles was still alive, he could have seen that shit. He clearly lost that round. And, you know, it's like, if the tables were turned for the same people that are upset, there's my question, right? For the Loma fans, the more so the Loma dick riders, to be more specific. If the tables were turned, though, right? And let's say Loma got the decision, but you got these lopsided scorecards, and they're giving rounds to Haney that he should have never deserved to get. Or sorry, they gave Lomachenko rounds that he never deserved to get, because they gave Devin Haney a round, or this guy that scored at 116, 112 gave Devin Haney a round that he clearly didn't deserve. So if the tables were turned, will you keep that same energy or not? If Lomachenko would have got, you know, rounds that he didn't deserve, are you going to keep that same energy? $115, $113 is that's the score of the fight. For, in my opinion, it's Devin Haney. Some of y'all maybe thought it was Lomachenko. Fine. We saw the fight a little bit differently. Anything more than that spread, I'm going to question it. And then when I look at the spread, and one of the reasons why it is 116, 112 is because you give Devin Haney the 11th round. That's some suspect shit. So I don't know if you guys caught it. So I'm saying it here now live that, yeah, that did happen. And, you know, we should pay attention to it as boxing fans. But, you know, for the most part, we don't do shit but just complain. We just complain on IG or TikTok or on YouTube. And nothing ever changes. I listened to Teddy Atlas soon after the fight, and he made a good point on his podcast. He said that what people don't realize is y'all know that the judges are paid by like the promoters have a say in how the judges are paid or some shit like that through the Nevada Athletic Commission. Like there's some major corruption deep rooted and embedded in the sport of boxing. And there's so many different levels to it. It's not just lopsided scorecards. It's not just the wrong guy getting the not the wrong guy getting the decision. I mean, it goes to like boxers straight up cheating in fights as well and getting away with it. Promoters have had a hand in rigging fights since the beginning of time, since boxing has been a professional sport. Boxers have had their hands in the cookie jar, manipulating and corrupting fights since the beginning. Occasionally, they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. But it's still happening like it was happening 70 years ago. Still happening today. So I wanted to point that out in case you missed it. The next point I want to point out is I kind of touched on it already, but I honestly don't understand the disrespect towards Devin Haney. And people really thought that Lomachenko was going to be, he was going to be that guy. He was going to be that guy to beat Haney. And because he didn't, y'all hating on Haney for whatever reason, I'm not sure. Maybe y'all have a different explanation or reasoning behind it. I quite honestly, on a boxing perspective, have no reason. I have no idea why they hate on Haney. I honestly don't. But I'm noticing that for several years now, these fighters have been built up to be that guy who's gonna, beat Devin Haney. Right? It was Teofimo, and then it was Kambosos, then it was Lomachenko, now it's Tank. But if you're Devin Haney and you got that type of criticism and you got that type of hate, you know you're doing something right. You know you're doing something right. So I find it pathetic. I find it highly disappointing that a man goes out there and in my opinion, displayed great boxing skills and abilities, which should be acclimated. It should be praised. There should be nothing but accolades if you're a true boxing fan. But instead, Lomachenko was robbed. Haney ain't shit. Haney disappointed me. He could have done more. He ain't got no power. This, that, and the third. And that shit's sad. This shit's real sad to me. And I don't know if it'll ever stop. But I see K-Rod in here. He's got, he just dropped out. All right, cool. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I don't come on here often, but this was a fight that I felt like I needed to speak on to let you guys know how I felt about the fight and how I saw it. Obviously, there was a lot of controversy about it. People were big mad that Devin Haney got the decision. And I was like, well, why are people so fucking mad about it? All right, shit. Let me go and watch the fight. So I did. And I had him 115, 113, man, for Devin Haney. I'm very confident with that scorecard. I have no regrets. I have no, I don't know, man. Maybe there's a round or two. Nah, not really, man. I'm very the rounds that Devin Haney won. I'm confident. the rounds that I felt that Loma edged it out, I'm confident with it. So I'm very confident with the 115, 113 scorecard. Y'all can hate, be disappointed, be sad, all you want, because Devin Haney couldn't finish him or he couldn't get the knockout. But, you know, y'all acting like you want I don't know, what would be a good analogy? It's like you want a terrier to be a Rottweiler or a pit bull or some shit. But they're not, and they never will be. They are who they are. Devin Haney is who he is. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for me, every time I tune in for a Devin Haney fight, I'm expecting a boxing clinic. I'm expecting a man to go out there and show us how it is to box for 12 rounds if he needs to box for 12 rounds. And, I mean, what are we paying our money for exactly? I mean, what's the value exactly? So, this is my last point. I'm going to let K-Rod cook real quick. We pay for these fights, right? I'm hoping that we are paying for these fights. I hope if you claim to be a boxing fan, why would you not pay for a Haney Lomachenko fight? Why wouldn't you? That's a high caliber fight. But we pay for fights, right? What has greater value? A first round knockout or a 12 round boxing clinic? What are we paying for exactly? You get 3 minutes worth money. What is your money worth? 3 minutes of a first round knockout? Or is your money worth a 12 round close competitive fight where one man was just slightly better to put on a nice boxing clinic and you get 45 minutes? So that's another thing that you got to think about. Like, what are we putting our money towards exactly? Oh, I'm ready to pay $100, man, just for a first round knockout. I mean, it's cool. I mean, if the undercard is shit, then you literally paid $100 for a minute. Think about it that way. So at least with Devin Haney, or when Floyd used to fight, you know, in his last, 10 years of, well, maybe not that long, but maybe his last like 7 to 8 years of his career, it's like, I'm going to get a full boxing match. I'm like, Mayweather ain't knocking nobody out, but he's about to whoop someone's ass, and I'm going to enjoy it. That's just me. But if you guys are okay with putting $100 towards, it's like, y'all know that I'm a huge Wilder fan, but Wilder is a heavyweight. Okay? It's like when I buy a ticket or I buy a pay-per-view for a Wilder fight, it's like you consciously know, I'm paying for this because Wilder's going to put on a spectacular knockout. It's like you're paying for something spectacular. But if you are paying with the hope that Devin Haney's going to knock somebody out, then you're not putting your money towards Devin Haney the right way. So maybe you're disappointed because you're paying for it and you're not getting a knock. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's deeply rooted than that. Maybe you don't like him because of who he is, what he looks like, who he calls God. I don't know, because a lot of you motherfuckers are petty like that. There's a reason why I don't live in the States anymore. Because of that type of shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I honestly, black, white, purple, green, yellow, who you call God, who you sleep with at night, what you do with your life, I don't give a fuck about none of that. As long as you don't affect me and mine. And as a boxing fan, I'm expecting to watch a boxing match. I'm paying for quality. I'm paying to watch skill, to put on a show. That's what I'm paying for. All that other shit, y'all got some internal issues. If you want another man to lose just because, like I said, the way he looks, the way he talks, or et cetera, then you're investing your energy in the wrong places. And you probably need to evaluate your whole life. All right, K-Rod, let the people know what's on your mind, man.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Alright. Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me on. Um, yeah, I thought Lomachenko got his ass whipped badly by Devin. Um, all the Devin Haney haters, to hell with you. You guys are absolute retards. But the thing is that when we watch boxing, um, you have to understand that it's all about fundamentals and defense. And if you don't have either one of those two, or no, I'd probably say you need to have both of them, then you're in the wrong sport to think about becoming to think about becoming a boxer or even to become a boxing fan, because if you don't bring that IQ to that level of thinking to understand how the sport should be run, then that's why you still keep getting these dumb racist casual boxing fans that don't know what they're talking about, and then they start hating on you for simply having a constructive broken down opinion, or a factual analysis over fights that you think that could have been close, but you know that the right man won because of these principles. But for Haney and Lomachenko, it's the same thing like any other close fight that people don't want to give give credit where credit is due. Like if one guy has been putting in all the work for all the rounds that he clearly won, but then the other guys is just only landing like a couple punches, and then people get screamed, high and mighty over it. That's like for some weird reason to the dumb casual boxing fans, that's considered a winnable round for that fighter just because they landed one or two shots at the very end of like a round to determine a winner of that round, which is not true. You have to be boxing. You can't just be throwing punches and then they just don't land. And that's what happened all night between Lomachenko and Haney. Because Lomachenko, I don't care what anybody has to say, but you Loman fans are fucking dumb. Like you guys don't walk into the gym and actually know how to actually box. But I guarantee you, if you just go watch the Haney fight one last time and actually turn down the volume and don't listen to the commentators, you'll see that Lomachenko was not landing the majority of his punches throughout the entirety of the fight. If anything, most of his punches weren't even landing. So therefore, Haney, he was controlling the distance. He was breaking into the body. He should have blasted, Lomachenko with the uppercut. And Lomachenko, he got beat up all night long. But I thought this fight was clearly 8 rounds to 4 or 9 rounds to 3, because I thought, honestly, in the 10th round, Lomachenko, looked like he wasn't really landing that many punches, and Haney, he basically submitted him to a position where he wasn't able to get anything like effective off of him. So I think either way, Devin, he beat the crap out of him. And for people saying that there needs to be like a rematch, did Lomachenko give any rematches to the people that he had close fights with? And if anything, every time he lost, why didn't he demanded like a rematch with those guys, where he should have just took the loss like a man and stop making excuses? Because that's what pisses me off about Lomachenko and his dumb fans. They're just like Terrence Crawford, Bud Dick Riders. Like, honestly, if you're not going to be honest like about your fighter, and you're going to be protecting your fighter for all the wrong reasons that shouldn't be in the sport, then like I said, get the fuck out of boxing, because people don't need people like you. I've been to 5 boxing fights, as of recently, because I went to a boxing fight back on Friday for the zone fight for the Ashton Hill like event out in Orlando. But every time when I go out to boxing fights and I actually talk with really good, genuine boxing fans that actually love to break down boxing, they'll tell you that they don't like it when dumb casuals come to events and then they start talking all that BS, because most of you guys don't even go to fights to actually bring your stupidity to actual real boxing minded, people. Like when you actually talk to these people that are actually intelligent in the sport, you don't bring those debates to, public, like events. So you guys sit behind a computer and you just look at what the commentators say. You don't actually go to these events and actually watch a fight. Watching a fight in person is way different than watching a fight on TV. So when people say that this person won and that person could have landed more and blah blah blah, all they're really saying is that I don't watch boxing enough to go to a real fight to actually see real punches being landed. Because if how to score a fight, efficiently, then you'll understand that, a lot of these dumb casual talking points are just minute and void. So, final point is that Haney beat the living shit out of Loma. So either take it like a man and, basically regain your spot the hard way to beat on guys that are certified and basically prove yourself like again. It's not like Lomachenko, he got knocked out badly because he did. And, all these fans of him, would just magically disappear because y'all are very lucky that Devin Haney doesn't have deadly punching power like Walter or Tank, because if he did, Lomachenko would not fight him. Like, I kid you not, Lomachenko would seriously not fight Devin Haney. The reason why he's fighting Devin is because that was his last payday for him to get a big opportunity, in which he should have gave it to Devin 4 years ago, in which Lomachenko fans want to say that Devin was ducking Loma, where, the proof clearly shows that Lomachenko was holding this fight over, for the longest of this time because he knew that he was going to lose. And that fight clearly showed it. So either way, get mad at it and call people keep calling people a lot of, stupid, ad hominems. But guess what? At the end of the day, you guys are wrong. You guys are part of, the problem. And I hope every single one of you, stupid Lomachenko fans and all you dumb casuals just die off because you guys are fucking you guys are fucking dumb. Like compared to any other sport, this is why boxing sucks because you have idiots that just keep, breeding stupidity to just keep up the, bloody debates going with, just fights that people just can't sit down and actually sit down and actually watch. So, case in point, to finalize it, Devin beat Loma decisively. I had it 8 rounds before and possibly 9-3, but yeah, you don't win boxing fights by just throwing just like a couple punches. Like, you have to actually take it to the champion if you want to become champion. So that's my thoughts.
Well, you heard it from the man K-Rod himself. He had it wider on the scorecards than I did. One thing that I do want to say before I get up out of here is there was a time that I actually liked Tim Bradley as a fighter. And a lot of people at certain points when he was still fighting, making fun of him, calling him Headbutt Bradley and Hammerhead and all this crazy shit. But I actually respected his resolve. I respected his determination. He always fought hard. He always came in great shape. So I used to like Tim. But lately, man, I'm getting to the point where I can't stand this dude. I can't stand his commentary. I can't stand his fight predictions. And the more I listen to him, the more I'm starting to realize on how biased he actually is. The commentating, and it was like him and Andre Ward were like disagreeing the whole time. Where Andre Ward was trying his best to notice everything from both fighters. But to me, Tim was just very pro Loma, praising everything that Loma was doing and critiquing and criticizing everything that Devin was doing. And it got to the point where I just couldn't listen to it anymore. I literally was like, Tim, just shut the fuck up. So when somebody made a point in the comments, Andrew was saying that, casual boxing fans, they get persuaded by that. They get persuaded by the commentary. They get persuaded by, the crowd or, shit that boxers say leading up to the fight. They soak it up. They buy into it because they don't know enough of the intricate details of the sport of boxing and how boxing should be. And at one point, what it used to be, commentating used to be very non-biased and just, entertaining. Especially in the, in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. But we start creeping into, the Oscar De La Hoya pay-per-view days. We started the Jim Lampleys and the Larry Merchants and these HBO crew and these other guys started coming in. started being clearly biased for one fighter or the other, and it's sad. But Tim Bradley's starting to become that. And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, like every little thing that Loma does, I don't need to hear it. Like, I see it. And every time you think that Devin doesn't do something, it's like you're not commentating, you're critiquing constantly. And we already know what Tim feels and says about Deontay Wilder, too. Who the fuck is this? Okay, yeah. Alex, you're free to come in here and and say what you want to say, since you want to talk about media having a camera. Well, let's see if you got the balls and use your microphone and camera to come in here and say what you want to say, since you got a pretty validated opinion. What's up, Jimmy?
Salute, bro. It's good to see you in lives again. Yeah, man. Look, I think generally, I'm actually surprised how they're not talking about how great that fight was. That was one of the best lightweight title fights I've seen in many years. You know, you're talking about skills at the highest level. Both guys were showing. Both guys had to dig down deep. We saw everything. We saw skill. We saw grit. Both guys were using footwork and angles and counter punches, taking leads. I mean, that was a tremendous fight. You know, that was really elite level boxing. As far as the controversy, I mean, look, most of the world feels the way it feels, right? As far as, you know, the industry, journalists, professional fighters, trainers, most of the fans are the ones that booed Haney in the arena and the ones that caused a firestorm on Twitter. So even celebrities have come out. Me personally, I thought it was 7-5 Lomachenko, but I don't have a problem with the draw. But it's one of those things, bro. You're fighting an American champion in Vegas. As a foreign fighter, we know how this story ends. Las Vegas has a history of obviously favoring American fighters over the last couple of decades. So I thought Lomachenko should have maybe closed out stronger. Look, Haney is obviously got a bright future. Undefeated young American champion based in Vegas. And then you've got Lomachenko, a 35-year-old Ukraine who's talking about this being his final fight. So, I mean, who are politics really going to favor in that situation? And Devin Haney was lucky this fight wasn't 4 years ago, because he would not have got out of that 11th round.
That's what you say until Lomachenko does it.
That might be true. That might be true, but Lomachenko wasn't in a hurry to fight Haney 4 years ago.
And Lomachenko was getting pieced up by lesser competition 4 years ago.
The reason why he wasn't fighting Devin Haney, a prospect, at that time was because he was trying to unify all the world titles. But look, as soon as Haney signed the top rank,
you keep using the same fucking arguments every single time. It's this, dude. Just fucking stop it. Like, you don't understand.
I mean, bro, you're a fanboy, so I mean, I don't know why you're getting emotional.
Bro,
I don't
because
I don't know why you're getting in your bitch emotions.
You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know.
Relax.
So why the fuck
I'm just giving my opinion, man. Why are you getting emotional?
Why the fuck are you talking?
Hold on, time out. So, Jimmy, you felt what was your scorecards for the fight?
I thought it was 7-5 in favor of Lomachenko, but I could see it as a draw. I mean, I don't have a problem. And look, Devin, I became a fan of Devin Haney because of this fight. So it's not even about hate, bro. I'm very positive. I love the fight.
Okay, hold on. Don't put powder sugar on the pancakes yet. So I don't like when people don't like people when they come in here and they're like, well, I saw the fight this way, but you know, I like the other guy. Now let's start from the beginning. So you felt that Loma won by 2 rounds.
Kill your ass, boy.
I agree with the consensus. I agreed with the majority of people. Yeah.
Well,
fucking
I don't know. But hold on. I don't know if that's necessarily true. It might be the majority in your eyes, but I also know a lot of people feel that Devin Haney was. I mean, or they feel like the right man won the fight. So this is why it is a controversial fight. It's a close fight.
Yeah.
All right. It was a 115, 113, and 116, 112 for Devin Haney. So it's not like Devin Haney won by 4 rounds, right? He won by a round.
What about the 8-4? Do you find it bizarre though that judge gave Haney the 10th round? A round Lomachenko was most dominant in. That was one of Lomachenko's best rounds. If there was any round you were going to give Lomachenko,
no. You came in here later. I've already pointed that out, where one guy scored it. Who I think it was Dave Moretti, if I'm not mistaken. He gave Devin Haney the 11th round, which Devin Haney clearly lost. Yeah. But that's a separate issue. That's a separate issue. Okay. That's a potential corruption of the judges. There's some bias there. Who fucking knows? It's a sport of boxing. But the fight itself, to me personally, this is why I went live to talk about this fight, because everyone said their opinion. All right. We're removed from the fight now for a few days. Everyone's had time to listen to people's videos. So I'm coming to the back end of all this. I just don't see Loma winning that fight by 2 rounds. There's just no fucking way. He did. First off, he never went to the body. Loma never went to the body. Devin Haney clearly the whole fight went to the body. This is professional boxing. Body punches score points. How the fuck, if you never throw a fucking body shot, when you can't land to the head and you're punching, and Devin, even if you throw 10 punches and you land 3, even if those 3 punches are flush, you still got 7 deflected and you're still getting countered. It's not like Devin was in a Philly shell trying to slip everything. He was firing back too. So they were exchanging punches. But in my opinion, one of the biggest differences in the fight was the body work. Right? And to me, it's like this. Loma had a lot of good moments. You can actually say he had at least one good moment every round. I would actually be okay with that. But there is a lot of time in a single round. You have to win the duration, the majority of that round, right? You can't just throw a flurry, land 4 or 5 flush punches, but you lost 2.5 minutes of the round because you weren't throwing, you were chasing, you were trying to figure a way to get in, and you're getting hit with the jab and you're getting touched to the body. Devin Haney controlled his range like he was supposed to because he's the taller, bigger fighter.
I thought Lomachenko took the jab away after the second round. And as far as body shots, Haney gets credit. But all the major head punches, obviously when Haney did the chicken dance in round 11 and was hurt in round 10, I thought Lomachenko landed clearly the better head punches. The only guy to get hurt in the fight was obviously Devin Haney. But look, it was close, bro. I mean, I don't have a problem with Haney winning. But, hey, most of the world disagrees with me, you know. I mean, look at these polls on ESPN, Ring Magazine, Yahoo Sports. They are pretty one-sided. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, because you're biased as fuck.
I don't run these polls, bro. I keep telling you, you need to stop being emotional.
Still go back to these polls, you dumb motherfucker. That's what you do.
Listen, you bitch. I was giving you a neutral point, bro.
I will fucking crack your fucking face.
Don't make me use my pin pad on you. I'll use my pin pad on you.
Here to America.
I'll slap the bitch out of you.
Bring your shit over here to America.
I don't know who you're trying to impress, bro, but I'll bring the bitch out.
Wait. Y'all got some. Y'all also got some deep-rooted beef. I don't know.
Because your fans are fucking stupid.
Jimmy,
bro, he's upset. He's a Haney fan, and he knows his boy got exposed. You're upset, bro.
Europeans are fucking stupid.
You told me, bro. You told me Haney was gonna destroy Lomachenko. What happened, bro?
Yes, he did.
Got booed out of the arena.
He did. What the fuck did Loma do?
He got booed out of the arena in his own hometown. He got fucking booed.
Lomachenko got his ass whipped. That's why people
booed out of the arena, bro.
He got booed,
Jimmy,
because he sucks. Lomachenko sucks.
K-Rod,
that's why Haney got booed.
Take a break. Jimmy, did you come in here because you saw K-Rod in here? And you want to come in here and stir some shit?
Exactly.
No, it's an honest question. No. It's an honest question.
No. If you rewind back, bro, I was being very polite. I was giving my view. Halfway through, he cuts me off, starts talking about I'm biased.
Stupid, bro.
Because it's clear. It's clear that you two have clashed about this very topic before the fight even happens, it's very clear that Jimmy, you thought that Loma was going to win the fight, and K-Rod thought that Haney was going to win the fight. Haney came out victorious. So you're coming on the channel, which, you know, whatever. I usually let you in. But I'm saying you've already clashed with K-Rod before. You know that K-Rod's on here on the panel. You know that K-Rod is, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, he got his bet right, and you got yours wrong. So
no, I didn't. I picked
you're coming in here and you're
no, come on, bro. I picked Haney to win. K-Rod knows I picked Devin Haney to win.
No, you didn't.
Skywalker's channel. Yes, I did.
Fuck
I picked Tim Smith. You're a little bitch. You are a little bitch.
Beat your fucking
you are a little faggot. I'll make you my bitch. I'll put a pink dress on you. Listen, I'll put a pink dress on you.
To America. Just come over.
You're the biggest bitch on YouTube.
I'm not afraid of you, dude.
I'll beat the bitch out of you.
I'm not afraid of you.
It's just boxing, bro. Relax.
I'm not fucking emotional. Oh,
you get so emotional.
Yeah. It's just a sport when black people have to be fucking criticized, but it's not a sport.
All right. Y'all both been muted. You're not going to come on here screaming and shouting on my panel or grown-ass men. All right. So what I recommend is that Jimmy, if you got a problem with K-Rod, or K-Rod, you got a problem with Jimmy, then if I'm not mistaken, both of you guys got channels. I don't know if Jimmy does, but I know K-Rod does. Y'all can handle your business. So what I advise is that K-Rod, invite the man on your channel, and y'all can hash it out, right? And I'll be there to watch.
Bro, I just came on to talk boxing, talk to you. That was it. If you replay it back, I haven't addressed K-Rod once. He addressed me twice.
I don't need to replay anything back. I know you came in here to talk about boxing, but what I'm saying is that you saw K-Rod on the panel. You and K-Rod don't get along. That's obvious.
I'm cool.
So you come in here knowing that you're gonna say, I got Loma winning the fight by 2 rounds. That's gonna spark K-Rod. You know it's gonna spark it. You know it's gonna spark K-Rod. You know you get a reaction.
But why would he get emotional over the scorecard when most of the world agrees? I can't speak
for K-Rod. I can't speak for him. But what I'm saying is,
I don't have an opinion.
Y'all don't come on. It's like I'm having a cookout, and y'all bring your beef to my cookout. So there's only unfortunately, because it's not it's not real life. This is virtual. Because if it was real life, and you guys come into the fucking cookout talking shit, I'm gonna say, all right, everyone, pause the music, turn the music down, everyone clear space, and let the 2 men handle their business, right? But we can't do that because this is virtual. So therefore,
I'll chill. I've got no issue.
K-Rod's got a channel, bro. So I'm saying, why don't you go to his channel and hash out what clearly you guys got beef. So,
bro, I've got, bro, I just came into talk boxing. I've never been on this channel. I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's getting emotional over me. I've got no beef with him. I barely know who he is. I've seen him on 2 panels before on Skywalker, and that's it. I mean, I don't even know what his beef is with me. I picked Devin Haney to win. He knows we were both on Skywalker's panel. I picked Devin Haney to win on points. I don't know why he's lying. The live stream is still up. I picked Devin Haney to win.
All right. First of all, Devin, hold on.
Do you know who Jimmy is?
Yes, I know who Jimmy is, but the thing about Jimmy is that.
So hold on, I picked Lomachenko. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you did because I remember before the battle Haney and Lomachenko, and you were saying that Lomachenko should be Haney, but you wouldn't be surprised if Devin Haney got the decision. But
I said it was a 50-50 fight, and I favored Haney to win because of size and youth. That's exactly what I said on Skywalker's panel. There were multiple people there. I don't know why you're lying.
No, I'm not saying that you are. It's just that sometimes you have mixed you have mixed views where you pick certain outcomes to be more of a, how should I say, it's just kind of unpredictable. That's basically how I'm saying. I'm not against with who you're picking. I'm against with just the constructive breakdown that you put out there, as far as like.
So I said it was a competitive fight, right? And it was a competitive fight. So how was I wrong? I said this would be a 50-50.
No, I'm not even saying that. It's just more to do with just like how you criticize certain fighters. That's all.
I said Devin Haney was hurt in the 11th round, and I thought he was about to go. If it was a younger Lomachenko, he would have finished him. But at the end of the day, Devin Haney came out strong, won the 12th, showed heart. I gotta give him credit, bro. I don't know why you're making it, I'm Team Lomachenko.
But why don't you give Devin Haney
just
credit?
Give Devin credit.
Or why don't you give Devin Haney credit for surviving that 11th round? That's not fair to say, because you're basically saying Lomachenko is past his prime. That's why he couldn't finish him. But nobody was saying that during the fight. As a matter of fact, Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, who, by the way, was sucking Loma's dick the whole fucking fight, kept saying, wow, for 35 years old, this guy looks fucking amazing. He's got energy. He's fighting like the younger fighter. Even Andre Ward was saying that. So, but you're saying, he was too old to knock out Devin Haney. So why don't you give Devin Haney credit for showing maturity, by the way, by coming out in the 12th round after getting hurt in the 11th and finishing the fucking fight?
I give Bill Haney credit because he guided his son through a really rough time. He's a great trainer. I mean,
Bill Haney's not fighting. Devin
but he was panicking
why
in the corner.
Why aren't you saying, you know what, Devin, you showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination, a lot of toughness, surviving that 11th round. Well done. You don't need to give credit to Loma in the 11th round because the proof is in the pudding. He won that round clearly. But at the end of the day, you're saying that a younger Loma would have knocked him out. You would have finished him. I don't agree with that. So we're not giving Devin Haney for surviving that moment and then, of course, coming back in the 12th and finishing it.
Listen, I give both guys credit, but I started the panel off by saying this was one of the best lightweight fights I've ever seen, because obviously both guys were elite level, man. Haney came back and won the 12th. I thought that was a mistake by Lomachenko, but look, it is what it is, man. Devin Haney obviously proved he belongs on top level, man.
Yeah, but the problem is that
most fans are trolling.
I think it's the consistency. And Jimmy, you've been around. You've been on my panel several times. I don't, like I said, when you come on, I let you on. I don't have anything personal against you, but I've noticed this trend. There's a little bit of problem with consistency with your analysis on fights and things like that, and it just shows bias. And actually, as a boxing fan, it's okay to be a little bit biased, but just be honest about it.
Can you give me an example?
Don't be like, I'm not biased. I'm a boxing fan, and I give credit to both fighters. But then the next moment you're saying, well, we're not going to highlight the fact that Devin Haney survived the 11th round and showed a lot of maturity as an undisputed champion.
Okay,
we're going to give all the credit to Lomachenko.
Well, he won the round, though. So when you win the round, you get credit for winning the round, right?
Sure.
Hey, Jimmy.
What I'm saying, but you're making it very obvious. You're basically saying like this, like, yeah, Devin Haney won the fight. It was a great fight. Even though I had Loma winning the fight, I think he should have won the fight, but he didn't win it. But it was a good fight, and congratulations to both fighters. It's just a little bit salty. That's the way I perceive it.
Bro, if I was salty...
Hey, Jimmy, can I say something real quick? Jimmy?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah,
okay. What I'm hearing, Devine's making a point. It's kind of pathetic because I'm not just saying you, but you guys not giving this man no credit. He's a champion. He's a champion. The fight was close. You have to beat the champion, straight out, to get the belt. That's been the rule for a long time. Not a rule of thumb. Okay, whatever I'm trying to say, but you guys have to realize that this guy, Devin Haney, he's undisputed. And he's not just like he just had one trinket belt. It wasn't. He has all the belts, and he deserved that. He went to Australia twice, and you just can't give it to Loma because Loma's Loma. The guy started, man. I don't even want to get to Loma. Loma's a sore loser. He started crying, and I just think you guys should give Devin his credit because Devin was tagging Loma. They were tagging each other back and forth, but it wasn't definite that Loma won the fight. It wasn't like some straight cleans, like some Whitaker and Chavez type shit.
why do you think most of the world disagrees with you?
No, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you just go off of like casual fan arguments. That's all.
No, not really. I'm talking about professional fighters.
A lot of fighters came back and changed their.
They're not fighting for Lomachenko.
Nah, I wouldn't say. If you go back and you watch Fight Hype or Fight Hub or any of these major channels that were at the fight that went into the crowd and interviewed the fighters after the fight, I would say it's pretty split. But 50% were saying I think Loma edged it out. 50% said it's Haney. But that's a reflection of why the score was so close and why it was a 115-113 fight. So you're going to get that in a close competitive fight. I don't believe and I don't agree that it's the majority saying they think that Loma fought or Loma won the fight. I think it's very split. Maybe you can even say 55-45, but it doesn't matter because it's a close fight. And at the end of the day, Big Dog made a great point. Like, you're the undisputed champion. You can't just get the nod just because you landed some more flush headshots here and there. You know, like, okay, you hurt him in the 11th round, but you didn't drop him. You didn't drop him. You didn't stop him. You didn't dominate the fight. Like, if you're the contender, if you're going to fight against the champion, you can't just go out there and play it safe. You got to take it to the champion, bro. You got to take it. You got to know when that fight is over, you can't even have no doubt in your mind. Well, I think I won 7 rounds, maybe 6. No, you should be like, I won 10 rounds of this fight.
I think
that's what your mindset should be as the challenger. And let me say this last note, last note, and I'll let you cook. Last note here is that Big Dog said another thing. Loma, right? Shades of Anthony Joshua, crying, talking about, oh, we're gonna write a letter to the commission and we're gonna appeal this and all this other crazy shit. Like, was it really that? Are you that convinced that you won the fight that clearly? Really? Like, are you that confident? Like, it doesn't matter if 50 professional boxers thought that Loma should have got the nod. Those 50 professional boxers are not saying that he dominated the fight and it was like a clear robbery. It was like, it's a close fight. I thought Loma won it. Devin gets the nod. That's fine because he's the champ. That's the general consensus about this fight. But it's a bad look, bro. It's like Anthony Joshua grabbing the fucking microwave from Usyk, like acting a fucking fool and embarrassing himself. I'm not saying that he went to that extent, but he's crying, he's complaining, talking about he's gonna make a report and appeal the decision when it was clearly a close fight. On that note, where's this energy when there has been a clear robbery in the past? What was it last year when Constantine was clearly fucking robbed against what's his name? I can't remember his name, but like there's so many fights that was a clear and disgusting robbery. But nobody has the same energy. Nobody's gonna rally up for these other guys who get clearly fucking robbed, but everybody wants to rally up for Loma. What makes Loma so fucking special? That's what I want to know.
I'll tell you. It's the high profile of the event, though. So most people didn't really care about Valdez. Same with Jack Catterall for Josh Taylor. I thought Jack Catterall beat the living shit out of Josh Taylor. Had it 8-4 and a knockdown. No one really spoke up about that. I did. These things happen.
I did. I thought Jack Catterall won the fight too.
It's a bias, Jimmy. That's what I'm saying. It's the bias.
I agree, bro. I agree.
So it's just like
event, that's
the problem. That's the problem with this. But it's the bias of what happened in the fight. Jimmy, I want to ask you a quick question. I want you to be very honest with me. Do you think that Loma dominated the fight?
No.
Okay. Do you agree with me that, like with me and Divine, that if you're the champion, especially undisputed champion, that the challenger has to really win the fight, have to really beat his ass?
Yeah, I do agree. That's why I said I don't have a problem with Devin Haney winning. But here's the problem that we face, right? When you break down 10 rounds, you have to score them individually. You can't write in the comments, "Oh, he's the champion, so let's give him this round if he doesn't win."
No, see, that's what I'm talking about, Jimmy. That's what I'm talking about. You said one thing, then you go back and say another thing. I just told you.
No. I'm telling
Did
you.
you think the fight was close?
Let me land the plane, bro. Let me land the plane. It's not about me, because the reason I scored it for Lomachenko is because after 12 rounds, round by round, I use basic maths, right? That's what you do. You use basic math to add up your scorecard, and after 12 rounds, I had it 7-5. But I have no issues with the draw, and if I have it a draw, that means, hey, Haney winning, there shouldn't be a problem. Anyone that I didn't call it a robbery, bro. Most of the world is calling it a robbery. I don't know why, like, you're trying to use me as a sort of like a hub or whatever all the haters are saying about Devin Haney.
No, that's not.
I'm not, bro. I'm not trolling him. I'm not saying he's a hype job. He got exposed. I'm not saying all that shit. He's a paper champ. I'm not saying this stuff. Calling him a gift champion or a paper champion. I'm not saying this stuff. I said it was a great fight. It was close.
No, nobody's saying all that. See, you're adding stuff to it. You're adding stuff to it. That's what I'm saying. You still have a bias. You still, when you talk about it, I asked you 2 straight questions, and then you started going more and more on about the fight.
This creation, you're more intangible.
You can feel it. Like there's
points I never made though.
You can feel when
I get it. You guys are Devin Haney fans. I get it, man. You guys.
No, that's not what. Actually, I'm a Shakur fan. I think Shakur's gonna beat Devin Haney. But what I'm saying to you is you're being unfair. You're not. If you're biased, to say you're biased.
Jimmy. So here, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna recognize this super chat real quick. But Jimmy, listen, it's for me. People have their opinions about you, and rather they think you're biased or not, whatever. For me, it's consistency. You just said, "Oh, well, you're a Devin Haney fan anyway." Well, yeah, I am, because I've fucking been saying that shit for 2 years. I've been saying, I have a video on my channel that says Haney will eclipse Floyd Mayweather's career. Oh. So everybody fucking knows where I stand. But at the end of the day, if everybody also knows that on Divine Sense Boxing channel, on his channel, if Loma clearly won the fight, I'm gonna come out and say I think that he clearly won the fight. There's a guy right here in the super chat I'm about to read here, right, that has it 9-3 for Haney. Right, I had it a lot closer than that. Right. But at the end of the day, I think that we get a little bit caught up in the moment. And I think an agenda starts to slowly creep out with the things that you say and the type of energy you bring. Now I'll let you marinate on that for a moment and let you reply. But I got my man Teddy Fresh in the super chat saying, Divine, I was at the fight initially. I had it 7-5 for Devin. Tay Jones last week and I had rewatched the fight in slow-mo. And I actually had it 9-3 for Haney. It wasn't that close. People just don't know how to score. So Teddy Fresh, I appreciate the super chat, bro. I would definitely want to highlight that because you made a good point. How do we score fights? And I think that that's another big issue because I've ran into this problem many, many, many times. This is why guys get robbed. This is why that's why decisions are corrupt. And they're too caught up in the moment. I don't know. Like, judges are humans at the end of the day. I don't know the extent of the corruption. I know it is fucking corrupt. I know that. But I don't think every judge is corrupt. And I don't know the extent of it. Because there's a possibility that judges get swayed by the crowd. Right? They're humans. They get caught up in the moment. But the consistency of judging fights properly is a huge issue. Like I mentioned before, and you haven't said anything about this, Jimmy, is that you said, because I said to you, Loma didn't throw any fucking body shots the whole fight. I bet you if you go back and rewatch the fight, he didn't land no more than 10 body shots the whole fight. If you were to look at Devin Haney, I guarantee you he landed at least 50 body shots, if not more. Damn near 30% of his shots were body shots, right? This is professional boxing. You score body punches. I mentioned that to you, and you're like, oh, yeah, he might have thrown to the body more, but Lomachenko had cleaner shots to the face. So what? So let's break it down mathematically then. Let's break it down mathematically. Jimmy, and if you and I were in a boxing ring and we're sparring, right, and our peers are judging the fight, and I touch up your body clearly, I land, 50, 60, 70 body shots, and you happen to land 9 flush headshots. Who wins that round? if
I
you
don't think the
score
gap in
on a
volume.
professional standard.
I don't think the volume was that big though. Henry did land. See, this is what I find funny though. So when Canelo Alvarez fought Arislandi Lara, right? A lot of people were screaming bloody robbery, right? And when a lot of Canelo fans said, "Hey, he landed body shots. He was the aggressor. He pushed Lara back." No one cared about that. But for Devin Haney, it's all of a sudden we got to count body shots and we got to break it down and we got to use slow mo. It's like, and then I'm being called biased. Like, come on, bro. And when Canelo Alvarez beat Arislandi Lara, it was based off aggression and body work, right? But no one counted that. So all of a sudden we got an extra, give Haney extra points for body work. And that's why he won the rounds he won. That's what made it a close fight. His body attack and his right hook. I don't think his jab was worthless because Lomachenko took it away. But Haney made great adjustments to the body.
You're saying
with the hook.
Devin Haney's jab was worthless?
I mean, after the second round, Lomachenko took the jab away though. I mean, where was it in the whole fight?
Come on, bro.
Where was it?
Bro. Like I'm giving you credit as much as I possibly can, but you can't sit up here and tell me after the second round Devin Haney's jab was no longer effective. If that was the case, then why isn't Lomachenko in Devin Haney's chest beating him up?
Haney was using a good body attack and a right hook to keep Lomachenko off. I didn't see the jab. I mean, maybe I need to rewatch it, but he took Devin Haney's jab away easily.
I think you need to rewatch it because listen, a jab. And we're getting very like technical now. We're really breaking down the sweet science, and I know you love that, Jimmy. So we'll do it. The jab is not only an offensive weapon; it is a defensive weapon. It is a range finder. It is also used to parry through and open up a high guard to throw a right hand.
Yep.
Right? We're all boxing diehard fans here, right? We know this. Just because a guy throws a jab and doesn't land it flush to the face does not mean it's not effective. It sets up other shots. It keeps your opponent accountable. It keeps them at range. Devin Haney, on other than moments in the fight where Lomachenko exhibited good footwork and was able to get in some combinations, which only lasted 30 seconds of a round. Like, let's be honest. Other than that, Devin Haney's moving, he's jabbing, he's going to the body, he's throwing a right hand down the pipe, and if Loma's moving his footwork trying to get in, Devin ties him up. And we can't get mad at Devin for tying the man up because if you're Loma, you watched both Kambosos fights, and you know that his ass is going to tie you up if you try to get on the inside and rough him up. That's what he does. And I have a pet peeve when people say, man, Devin, he hold too much, bro. Well, you can hate on it all you want, but as a professional fighter, according to you, Jimmy, the caliber of fighter that Lomachenko is, he should be able to negate that, no problem. And don't you dare tell me, oh, Bill, because he's 35. Fuck all that shit, 35, because
I agree, bro. I agree with you.
He's
100%.
had his eyes on Devin Haney for years. He's been studying Devin Haney for years. And according to Andre Ward, the son of God, he looked phenomenal for 35 years old. So that's debunked. He was there ringside commentating the fight.
Yeah, I think
so. I don't know. It comes back down. I don't mean to cut you off, but again, it comes down to an agenda starts to slowly creep out when you don't give Haney the credit that he deserves, and you say, well, I had Loma winning it by at least 2 3 rounds, but it was a close fight. Well, a close fight is a draw or a round, maybe 2. Other than that, it's a clear decision. Based off your scorecard, you had a clear decision for Loma.
7-5. I mean, that's not really. I mean, that's only 1 round away from a draw, right? That's not. A lot of people had it 8-4. I don't agree with those people. Like I said, me personally, I thought this was an amazing fight for Devin Haney to really learn. He's a 24-year-old man, and I feel like personally, if they rematch, I think Haney will win easily. Because again, a learning experience. I thought this fight really did him a world of good as far as his maturity and his experience at top level. I give Haney way more credit than guys like Tank Davis or Shakur Stevenson, because if you look at the kid's pattern, fought Lomachenko, he went to Australia, fought Kambosos, unified the titles, and he's talking about fighting Regis Prograis. I don't have a problem with Devin Haney, But I do agree with most of the world, bro. I thought Lomachenko edged it, but I've got no problem. See, if I was a hater, I'd be saying robbery. I've never once come on this panel
Bro,
and said
why
this
do
was a
you
robbery.
keep saying most of the world though? That irritates me.
Well, because most videos I've seen from Shakur Stevenson, Tim Bradley, Keyshawn, Regis Prograis, I really haven't. I mean, what professional fighters or journalists have come out in support of Devin Haney though? Oscar De La Hoya, Robert Garcia, every fan poll I've seen on Twitter. I mean, it looks one-sided, bro. Maybe I missed something.
Well, I mean, I can easily say that the channels that I listen to all had Devin Haney winning the fight. It depends. Now, if you're going to go to professional fighters and use them as a sticking point of validation, then fine. But some of those names you mentioned, they've been hating on Devin Haney for years. Facts.
Okay. All right.
That's just facts. And there's a large percentage of the boxing world that looks at Devin Haney the same way they looked at Floyd Mayweather when Floyd Mayweather was dominating. He doesn't have power. He doesn't hurt his opponents. He tries to go 12 rounds. He clinches. He does, he whatever, right? So that type of style is never going to be a fan favorite style. But like I mentioned earlier in this live, is that although people hated Floyd Mayweather so much, but they still bought the fucking pay-per-views though, didn't they? Why? Because they pay to see him lose. Now you can say that, well, you told K-Rod earlier that I had predicted Devin to win the fight. Now, I don't know if you did or not. I can't comment on that because I didn't hear your prediction. So I'll take it with a grain of salt, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And let's just say that you did predict Devin to win the fight.
Yep.
I still feel that deep down in your heart, though, you wanted Loma to win the fight, even though you predicted Haney to win the fight. Can we at least admit that? You wanted Loma to win.
Did I want Lomachenko to win the fight? Not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Lomachenko. Stylistically, I like guys like Canelo, Beterbiev, Anui. I mean, Lomachenko's a good fighter, but it's not really the... I mean, I'm not really into guys like Lomachenko or Usyk. Their kind of fighting style, good, elite level. But I prefer guys that are more aggressive and power punching and stuff like that. Guys like Canelo, Anui, Beterbiev. I have more bias towards them from a stylistic perspective. Lomachenko, great fighter.
So you're a Tank fan.
Tank Davis. No, I'm not a Tank Davis fan.
So, I mean, he knocks people out.
I'm more of a Devin Haney fan.
He's way more aggressive than Devin Haney is, as far as setting up big power punches. You just said that you like guys who set up big power punches. Doesn't Tank do that?
I like guys that give me good fights and fights I'm asking for, like Anui with Fulton, like Canelo Alvarez has done in his career, like Beterbiev has done in the past.
Wait, hold on. You said people give him fights like Canelo. Canelo don't give people fights that they want to see.
So you didn't want to watch Lara, Triple G, Cotto?
No. We're talking about Jimmy, John Ryder. Was that a fight you want to see?
Not really, no.
Okay. What about Triple G number 3?
Not really, no. So you're saying Tank's giving us more fights than
so don't use that. You said Canelo. You said Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez has given us a lot of really good fights that I personally asked for. Austin Trout, Erislandy Lara, Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Triple G, Danny Jacobs, Billy Joe, Caleb Plant. I thought the Bivol fight was very dangerous for him. He took it. He might fight Benavidez in the winter. I mean, these are good fights. I mean, if you think Tank Davis versus Oli Romero.
Guess what? What I'm trying to say, Jimmy, that's what I'm saying. You're using Canelo as a measuring stick, and I think that's a wrong person to use for that. A lot of fights that he took, he had to take those fights.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, not really. I mean, he makes more.
Oh yeah, really, yeah. If he's at 168, he has all the belts. He has to take those fights.
Okay, so
he's still not.
No mandatories.
And he's still not in a hurry to fight Benavidez either. His ass went and fought John Ryder. When Benavidez just got done beating Caleb Plant, he could have hit the pause button. He's the pound for pound king. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Yeah, the teams met up though. I think last week, Sam Lukowitz was saying he met up Eddie Reynoso, and they might stage the fight in September. So.
I don't hold my breath with Canelo Alvarez. If you hold
the
your breath
way
with
he
Canelo
looked
Alvarez, you're gonna drown.
Bro, you know what? Let's bet, bro. I'll bet you $200 that Canelo Alvarez will beat the fuck out of Benavidez. Benavidez is a hype job, bro. He barely got past Caleb Plant. He barely got past Caleb Plant, a dude Canelo stomped on. Come on, bro.
Canelo really didn't stomp on Caleb Plant like you guys think he did.
Oh, here we go.
Yo, you are so stupid.
Here we
Like, girl bums just keep proving it every single time.
Oh, Jimmy.
Euro trash fans.
Canelo didn't knock out Caleb Plant.
Oh, Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever you say, Mitch. Whatever
you're
you
one
say.
of those guys.
Canelo.
You're one of those guys running around the panels, clapping your hands and talking about how Canelo stomped Caleb Plant.
That wasn't even like a stomping.
No, it wasn't really a stomping. No.
And by the way, since we're talking about scorecards and controversy and judges being corrupted, and you know, Loma should have won, right? Loma should have won because according to Jimmy, most of the world, the majority of the world thought that Loma won the fight. But I have a question for you, Jimmy.
Good.
Even if you thought Canelo stomped Caleb Plant out, that's literally what you just said. There was the scorecards came out after the stoppage, and they had Caleb Plant winning one fucking round, bro.
Okay, I mean, I disagree with that personally, but I thought Canelo was ahead on the cards.
One round. No, but you see, again, consistency. You're not consistent with your analysis. That is the issue.
Yeah, but
you think Loma won the fight? That's what you said. You said I think Loma won the fight. The majority of the world thinks that Loma won the fight, which means the scorecards were not correct. So I'm saying Caleb Plant. I had Caleb Plant winning. I think I had Caleb Plant winning 5 rounds up to the point of the stoppage. The judges, the official scorecards came out, and they only gave Caleb Plant 1 fucking round. But you don't give a fuck because your man won. You've already admitted that you're biased towards Canelo. So you don't give a fuck that Caleb Plant. If it would have went 12, Caleb Plant would have got 1 fucking round. And you're okay with that?
Who did you have winning, though? No, I wouldn't have been okay with that. I would have said that was bullshit.
Canelo won the fight because he stopped Plants. But I'm saying that Plant sure as fuck won more than 1 round. He won more than 2 rounds. He definitely won more than 3 rounds.
Okay.
Canelo didn't do shit, bro, for fucking 5 rounds. He didn't do shit for 5 rounds.
What was Plant doing? Running around like
he was doing what he always does.
He running around. There he goes. That's another one.
You white.
They're both
running around. That's another one.
You know what, bro? You need to get out of this emotional bias, man. Like, you are trying to fuck, man. You need to relax. Man. You're a little bitch, man. You are a little bitch.
I will beat the shit out of you. Come over here to the States.
I'll put you in a pink dress. I'll put you in a pink dress.
Come on. Let's fucking fight. I'm not afraid of you, dude.
I'll be your pimp, man. Is this what you want? I'll be your pimp.
This is so much shit.
Dude, like, you talk way more shit than fucking me. I keep everything just calm and fucking constructive until your ass got up in here and then you started talking shit.
I mean, if I'm getting you emotional, bro, if you're getting triggered and acting like a woman, that's your problem.
I'm not even being triggered. I'm just clearly fucking debunking what you're saying. That's all.
All right, man. Whatever you say, K-Rod. Whatever you say.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm gonna recognize my man Alfred here in the super chat, and he pointed out that in 1 round, or I don't know if he's done 1 round, must have been total, but 50 total body shots. Most had Spence versus Porter very close, but I had Spence 8-4 because of body shots. That's a decent point from my man Alfred, man. I appreciate that super chat, bro. We also got Destiny in the building. Destiny, what's on your mind? Can't really hear you, Destiny.
Can you hear me now?
Slightly better.
Devin.
Yeah.
Are you back in America?
What's up?
You back in America?
Can't really hear you.
Are you back in America?
No, not right now.
No, we pretty much almost agree on most fights minus sprints versus Bud. But other than that, me and you pretty much almost agree on most fights. And Devin won that fight. Everybody kept thinking about those little shoe shine, little sprints when he would when Lomachenko would punching like sprints. He'll do like 5 or 10 seconds worth of punches, which most did not land, and it looked good. Yeah, it looks good, but it reminded me very much of Mayweather versus what's the boy name is Oscar De La Hoya. You can't fight in sprints and then expect to win. It's 3 minutes in a round, not 30 seconds. You can't fight in sprints and only, and then throw, 5 seconds worth of punches and expect to win the whole round. That's not how boxing works. Nobody scores boxing off of that, or at least you should not. You can't just throw a bunch of punches, in bunches and don't land but maybe two of them and then expect to win a round for doing 10 minutes, 10 seconds worth of work when somebody else has been working the whole 3 minutes. I don't understand why this fight is even being debated. It's not close. It was 9-3 or 10-2. However you want to score between those two. It's not close. It's ridiculous. This is like the dumbest argument on planet Earth. If you think Lomachenko won because of his shoe shining, then little buddy Oscar De La Hoya won too.
Jimmy. Jimmy Lee?
He got emotional. He didn't leave. Okay, he back.
I see Freddie in the comment section. What's up, Freddie? You know I got love for you, Freddie. You got Loma winning the fight too, Freddie. So you're more than welcome to click link. You're mine, bro. I'm curious to hear it.
But there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong saying Loma win the fight. I don't understand why people get so upset. Like, there's nothing wrong with Loma winning the fight, but to say that he dominated or he was robbed, but like that's the problem, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with Big Willie. He's right.
First off, Rick in the chat. Floyd's dad said that De La Hoya outboxed Floyd. First off, little history lesson here. His dad was training De La Hoya.
Yeah.
His dad and Junior were not on good terms at all leading up to that fight. They were hardly speaking to each other. So I wouldn't take too much credit with whatever Floyd Sr. said about that fight. But it is a good example, though. It is a good example because De La Hoya landed some good shots in the fight, had moments in the fight, got Mayweather against the ropes and all that. But to Destiny's point, he would only do it 30, 45 seconds of a round. As I'm watching a fight, I'm looking at 3 minutes. So basically, if you say, all right, Devin Haney is outboxing, he's controlling range, he's scoring body shots for 2.5 minutes. Very consistent, right? Defensively responsible, but Loma lands like 2 or 3 nice headshots. So Loma wins the round? Is that how we score now?
I think it's an argument.
It's the same thing, in my opinion, to Canelo and Caleb Plant. Same fucking thing. Caleb Plant jabbing, moving, controlling range, defensively responsible, and occasionally Canelo would jump and leap in with the left hook to the body or loop something over the top and land 2 or 3 of those shots. The crowd's going crazy, and you got these Canelo fans saying, "Oh, yep, he won that round." You're literally discrediting the man who's putting in a lot more effort and a lot more, I should say, conscience effort to control and box. You're saying, fuck all that. I don't care about none of that. I just want somebody to land something big. That is literally vocabulary of a casual boxing fan.
What's more important, though, Divine? Quantity or quality?
So you're literally saying that 2 or 3 flush shots, rather it's a body or a headshot, is more than all the other. Because if you were to break down the actual curriculum on how a judge should score a professional boxing match, there's a lot that encompasses that. Ring generalship, right? Effective and clean punching. Also, a lot of judges will score being defensively sound. The ability to slip punches, to be defensively responsible, and miss and make you pay. So it's not just landing a couple of big flush power shots. That's not how you score a professional boxing match.
But then why did you have Lara beating Canelo though? Because Canelo was landing 5-6 body shots, and Lara was landing a jab in the left hand every other minute. Canelo was clearly outworking Lara. He would land 4 or 5 body shots.
No, Lara was way more active. Lara was way more active than Canelo.
Lara was more active than Canelo.
Devin was more active than Devin was more active than Loma.
Lara actually dominated he controlled the pace of the fight. He also utilized the range. He understood, ring generalship. He actually made Cinnamon try to fight his fight. That's a part of scoring a fight. You just don't score a fight because somebody throw a punch. That's the case. Then we don't need judges. People just go into what they want to do. We don't need judges then, because what about ring generalship, ring IQ? What about the smarts you have to use to make somebody miss? And he was missing a lot. Cinnamon was missing a lot of his punches. So I don't understand what are we talking about right now? This is like elementary.
No, Destiny. The problem is Canelo landed more power punches throughout the fight. He landed more power punches. He was the aggressor as well. So that's why most people thought he won the fight. But
no, most people didn't. That's why they booed. That was a pro Cinnamon crowd, and they booed when they announced Cinnamon as the winner. No, nobody else thought that but you.
Divine, can you pull up the fight? Because I know no one booed Canelo at the end of the decision. They were cheering him. I don't know what she's talking about. You need to watch that fight again. Lara they were throwing garbage at Lara when he was leaving the ring. What are you talking about? They booed Canelo. They were literally throwing garbage at Lara.
They gave Cinnamon the fight. Yes, they did.
All right. I don't know who booed Canelo at the end of that fight. I remember them throwing garbage at Lara and his team when he was leaving. Canelo got, a big
nobody boos Canelo, man, because he's Canelo, bro. Everybody loves Canelo. He did. Hey, he's the pound for pound best. He makes all the best decisions. He's a unified champion, an undisputed champion, multiple weight class champion. Come on, man. Nobody boos Canelo. This man does no wrong.
I mean, look, Devon, what you gotta do, bro?
Like literally.
Weren't they just booing him in his random fight? And he was in Mexico.
Hey. Best fight the best, right? Canelo doesn't do that, bro. He doesn't.
Who's got better resume than Canelo, though?
And as a matter of fact, when he has stepped up to A caliber fighters, aka Floyd, he got his ass schooled. When he had to step up and fight whatever that dude's name was at 175, he got his ass whooped.
I wouldn't say so. I think Triple G was a top 3 pound for pound consensus.
Caleb Plant is. I got a lot of love for Caleb Plant. But Caleb Plant's not an A fighter. He's not.
Yeah, but Triple G was.
He's a solid B fighter. He hasn't proven yet because he couldn't beat Canelo and he couldn't beat Benavidez. So he's not an A caliber fighter.
Triple G was Triple
Tell
G
me how many A caliber fighters Canelo has beaten.
I'll give you the list.
Okay,
bro.
Triple G the first fight and the second fight.
Top 3.
Talk about controversial. There are a lot of people who thought that Triple G won those 2 fights, bro. There were people who thought that Cotto beat Canelo.
No one, come on, bro. No one thought Cotto won that fight, man.
A lot of people thought Cotto beat Canelo.
Come on, man. No one thought that, bro.
I'm just saying.
I mean, a lot of people think a lot of things, man.
Bro, dude, go on fucking YouTube right now. There were a lot of people that thought Cotto won that fight. I swear. I'm not saying I thought that. I had Canelo winning the fight. But what I'm saying is there were a lot of people that felt that Cotto won that fight, and it was a close fight. Canelo did not dominate Cotto. He never dominated Triple G. He hasn't dominated anybody. That's not a B plus A fighter.
He did not get the decision in the first Golovkin fight. He didn't get the decision in the first Golovkin fight, though. The way Haney got the decision over Lomachenko, though, it was a draw.
You still not hearing. It's like Jimmy, you know what we're talking about. It's like you're denying it.
No. Oh, so Canelo got the first decision in a Triple G fight, or was that a draw?
No,
was a
no, no,
controversial
no, no,
fight.
no, no, no. What? You're not hearing what Divine Sense is saying to you. Just because
Yeah,
people think he won doesn't mean he won.
and I agree with you. That's what I'm saying about Devin Haney and Lomachenko. You guys thought he won. I disagree with you, but I don't have an issue with close
But we're
fights
not
going to the top.
criticizing. But we're not criticizing. We're not saying all these bad things about Triple G. I mean about Loma. We're not criticizing him.
Who's criticizing Devin
You're
Haney?
Oh no,
changing what I'm.
you
You're
are criticizing
changing my
Haney.
point.
So how did I criticize Haney if I gave him
Oh,
credit for a great
God.
fight and he said it wasn't a robbery?
Never mind. Never mind. It's like you don't know. It's like I know you. You're smarter than that.
I
Smarter than that.
like 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 I said. No, he is. He is. Like I said, I'm still waiting. I've been waiting for I don't know the past 5 or 6 years of a fighter that Canelo, an A-level fighter that Canelo clearly won without any type of controversy, need for a rematch, clearly dominated the fight. I'll
I
wait
thought
for
Danny
it.
Jacobs and Kovalev were A-level fighters. Jacobs, obviously, a lot of people thought he beat Triple G, destroyed Peter Quillen, beat undefeated Derevchenko. It was a three-belt unification. Kovalev was a three-time light heavyweight champion, and that's still Andre Ward's legacy win. He jumped up 2 divisions and iced him. I mean, Canelo's
Dude,
got some really good wins.
Are you
I'll
serious,
give
dude?
you the
Are you serious?
I'll give you
Kovalev?
the benefit of the doubt for I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for Danny Jacobs, even though I don't agree that he was an A-level fighter,
Okay,
B plus at best. But that's fine.
all right,
I'll let you have that one. Kovalev, bro,
okay.
come on, man. Like Canelo
Bro,
fans hold on to that victory so much, and
so
it's
it's a great
not
win, though.
that worthy. How is it
Okay,
a
so
great
how many
win?
people? I'll tell you, bro. How many people jump from middleweight to
Tell
light
me.
heavyweight and fight a knockout puncher and champion? That's rare, bro. That is very rare. And if you can give me an example of someone else doing it outside of Bernard Hopkins, I can't think of any. From middleweight champion to jump up to light heavyweight, 2 divisions, and fight a. Kovalev was a top 3 fighter in that division. The guy's a 3-time unified light heavyweight champion and one of the biggest punchers in boxing. That was a very dangerous fight for Canelo.
How old was he?
I thought,
How old was he?
how old was he?
Kovalev when you fought him.
Kovalev.
I think he was about 35. I think he was at 35. I think when he fought
Man,
him.
real fast, Divine. Okay, it sounds good that he jumped up so-called 2 weight classes to fight a light middleweight, right? To fight a so-called Kovalev. Kovalev was
Champion.
just coming off a grueling fight where he almost was where he almost was knocked out and almost lost. He only had what an 8-week turnaround to fight right after that fight. He only had 8 weeks to turn around to fight Cinnamon.
I
And on
forgot
top
about
of that,
that.
and then on top of
12
that,
weeks.
he had a weight clause. He had a rehydration weight clause in here. What are we talking about right now? This is bananas, complete bananas. I feel like I'm talking to like a circus.
I don't know about that. I remember his trainer
I
coming
forgot
out
about the
thanking
short
Canelo
turnaround. I forgot about
for
that.
the,
It's extremely
the
short.
12 weeks.
8 weeks. What are we
No,
talking
it's
about?
12
Like,
weeks.
literally, what are we talking about? Are we in a
No, it's
circus
12
right now?
Listen, Sergey Kovalev's trainer, Buddy McGirt, came on stage and thanked Canelo for not using a catchweight. He said, look, this guy could have used a catchweight on us, kind of like what Floyd did to Canelo. But, I mean, look, man, he didn't do it. So,
Canelo does it all the time.
Yeah, we would have had the Canelo weight. Everybody's fighting at 156 with him, or 155, something weird. He had the Canelo weight forever. What are we talking? Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about
so
a
who did you
washed-up
wait for?
Kovalev who was already coming off a grueling
What?
fight against Anthony Yard, where he was almost knocked out. He barely won that fight. So turn around and fight him like
Barely
8 weeks later. What are we
knocked him
like?
out
Are we
cold,
serious?
though.
What are we
Definitely, he knocked him out cold. What are you talking about,
Hey,
barely?
Jimmy, he
Knocked out
barely won
Anthony
that
Yard
fight.
cold.
He
Jimmy,
barely won the
he barely won that fight. He was on
Barely.
his
He
way out.
knocked him out cold. He
Yeah.
knocked him out
Okay.
cold, bro.
Rewatch
What are
the
you
fight,
talking
man.
about?
Rewatch the fight.
That was the 11th
I
round.
definitely rewatched it, bro.
That
I'm
was
alright,
like the
man. I watched it many times.
way late now, but he'd been knocked down a couple of times. He literally barely won that fight. He got lucky with that punch and finally got Anthony Yard out of there. Had he not did that, he was going to lose that fight against Anthony Yard. What are you talking about,
Yard
Son?
won How many rounds did Anthony Yard win in the fight outside of the 10th?
Majority of them outside of the time he
You
got
think
knocked out.
Anthony Yard won majority of the rounds, Destiny? All right, man. I mean, look, man, I disagree. Most
Okay,
people would disagree with you.
okay.
Most of the world would disagree with you. But hey, man,
The most of
it's
the
not
world.
the first time you said something
Okay, did y'all
crazy. So
fight? Y'all other gentlemen, Divine, and I don't know the other gentleman's name. Did y'all see that fight? Who's winning
See,
that fight up until
it's Big Dog really Destiny. You met me
Big
before.
Dog? I'm sorry, Big Dog. Who was winning that fight up until he got knocked out?
I don't know who's winning the fight, to be honest with you, but that fight was not, that was no domination by Kovalev. But I think we're getting off because we're going to different fights. Jimmy, I guess what we're trying to say to you, which is, I don't know why I'm keep on saying the same thing to you. You're not being honest right now.
I'm not being honest. Based off what though? I didn't think it was a robbery. Okay, Divine. Divine can answer this, right? You've been on the panel the whole time. Have I ever said this fight was a robbery? I've never said it, bro. So how can I be hating on Devin Haney?
No, you never said it was a robbery, but you know when you come in, this is my issue. If you come in here and anybody, not just Jimmy, if someone comes on the panel and says, I thought that Loma won the fight, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't agree with you because I already said that I thought that Devin won the fight. But if you are not willing, if you're going to only highlight one particular fighter it's like it was a close fight. First off, we all can sit up here and agree, hopefully, that it wasn't a robbery, right? But if you only highlight one fighter, and then it takes me to say, hey, Jimmy, what about Haney? Like, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, he's the undisputed champion. He got the decision, and rightfully so, because like Big Dog pointed out, you still have to argue. You would have to convince me that Lomachenko went in there and took it to the champion, the undisputed champion, and won. And you have to say, if you're in the position that Loma was in, like I said, you got to win minimum. You got to win minimum 4 rounds. Clearly, more than four rounds than your opponent, right? So you need to win 8 fucking rounds.
I agree, bro. I mean, whenever you fight
you're going up against the champion, and he didn't bro.
Yeah, same with Tyson Fury when he came to America in the first Wilder fight.
Don't do that.
You fight an American champion, hey, bro, come on, the examples are out there, bro. Why does Las Vegas have a controversy?
What are you talking about? The first fight with Wilder, and what are you talking about?
He does this every single time.
Hold on, someone's got an echo.
He does this every single time. Jimmy, that's what I'm saying. You're not being honest. You do this every single time.
You're showing your agenda, bro. You're showing your agenda.
Big Dog, can you go on mute, bro? Because the thing's got an echo.
No, Jimmy, you're still not being honest. Okay, I'm not going to use the word honest. You're not being genuine. You're really not.
Okay, I thought Lomachenko won the fight. And
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So what are you talking about?
That's fine. That's fine. You think Lomachenko, that's okay. But what Divine Sister is saying is you're not giving what's name any credit.
Okay, listen, the reason why that was is K-Rod came on and said, right, which is madness. Devin Haney did not win 9. So you're saying that he won triple the round?
Okay, never mind.
That was madness, bro. That was madness. 9-3 Devin Haney? Come on, bro.
Devin Haney won 9-3. I do. I felt like he did
You would say that, though. Destiny, you would say that, though.
He showed ring IQ. He kept turning Lomachenko. He kept turning him. He wouldn't let Lomachenko set the pace. He set the pace. He took the fight to Lomachenko. Lomachenko will only fight in spurts. And then when he
I'm biased, though. I'm not calling Devin Haney Devin Stanko, am I? I'm biased. Okay.
Lomachenko tied Devin Haney. He was doing dirty tactics by wrestling Devin Haney. Like, bro, are we in a wrestling match or a boxing match? You need to make up your mind. What are you doing right now, Lomachenko?
I'm not calling Devin Haney Devin Stanko.
Yeah, he was throwing Haney around. Hey, a lot of other situations, Jimmy, to be honest with you, like there's one thing when you get tangled up and a fighter goes down, but this motherfucker was doing judo on Haney.
Thank you.
Like straight up.
Because of the clinching,
he was positioning his hips, and he was. I don't know if you've done martial arts, but I have. This motherfucker was positioning his hips and throwing him to the floor.
thrown who? Devin Haney.
If there
Because
was
of the
if there
clinching,
was a
bro.
referee in there that has some fucking balls, he would have been like, "You do that again, you're gonna get fucking disqualified."
Well, look, come
It's a
on, bro. You
boxing
can't be
match.
no, come on, bro. You gotta be neutral, bro. You gotta be fair. If Haney's allowed to clinch, and you don't have a problem with that, then Lomachenko's allowed to use roughhouse tactics. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, come on. You gotta be honest,
Clinching
man. You gotta
is
be
a
fair.
part of boxing, not a
Excessive
bro.
clinching.
We're
Excessive
talking
clinching is
about
illegal.
a judo throw. We're talking about a
Excessive
judo
clinching.
throw. Have you done judo before? Have you done judo before?
No, I haven't done judo. No, I haven't done judo. No.
Have you done Roman Greco wrestling before?
No, I've done some karate and kickboxing.
There is a way
but I
you
haven't done
position
judo.
your body to throw another person down to the fucking floor, bro. That is
Okay.
illegal. Clinching
Okay.
is legal to an extent on the discretion of the referee, right? That's
Excessive
why they have a break. When you clinch, a referee breaks. You throw a
Listen,
fucking opponent on the floor, it is illegal.
Excessive clinching
Now
is also illegal.
I'm not
right?
even making I mean for me, but hold up. But no, clinching is clinching. This is why you have a referee. When boxers clinch, it is the responsibility of the referee to break the fighters. We are talking about it. That's like it's basically like a low blow. When you position yourself to throw another fighter on the fucking canvas, what happens if Haney landed improperly and broke his wrist or broke his ankle or twisted his knee, which, by the way, has happened in high-profile fights?
Okay, but why do you do that, though? What was that?
It happened to Yuri Foreman. It happened to Yuri Foreman. He fucking twisted his knee because he got fucking grabbed and turned and thrown down.
But why did Lomachenko do that?
This is not street beefs.
No, but what was that in response to, though? Right?
Because obviously he has a wrestling background. He has a wrestling background. Okay? And he was getting clinched and he was getting frustrated and he positioned himself to throw Haney down. That was not a coincidence. That was not a like, we're clinching. Oh, you fell down. No.
Listen, bro.
And it's illegal. It's illegal to throw somebody down in boxing, bro.
Listen, it's illegal to use keyword excessive.
Are you kidding me right now?
Clinching is illegal. Listen, the reason why, look, I give Haney credit for clinching because he didn't want to fight on the inside. Devin Haney did not want to fight Lomachenko on the inside, and that's why he kept holding. Look, I don't have a problem with Lomachenko throwing him to the floor. If you're gonna keep hugging me, I mean, what's the dude supposed to do? Sit there and get hugged for like 12 rounds, bro? Come on.
Okay, so let's just say this. Okay.
Can you get injured? Can you get injured? It's the responsibility of the referee to protect the fighters in these type of situations. There is no punches being thrown. A fighter is directed in the locker room and before the fight, before the bell rings, protect yourself at all times. Yes, but it is also a certain type of responsibility by the referee to make sure that a puncher doesn't get punched in the balls, or he doesn't get thrown on the floor, or he doesn't get headbutted deliberately. It is the responsibility of the referee to impose those rules. Now, if you want to nitpick and say that Devin Haney clinches too much, then yes, it is on the referee to make sure that the pace of the fight is going correctly. But you don't just get docked a point because you're clinching. That has been a part of the sport since the dawn of time, right? It has also been not part of the sport to pick up and throw another fucking fighter on the floor. Now, obviously, the referee let them fight. The referee was pretty, I mean, I don't agree with the fucking throwing judo throw, but at the end of the day, he let Devin clinch. So it's fine. But if you're going to sit up here and act like, oh, you throw a guy down, that's fine. No, it's not fucking fine. Because if Devin Haney got injured and couldn't continue the fight, and then he gets stopped because he couldn't fucking move his leg or couldn't punch with whatever hand, you would be okay with that, wouldn't you, Jimmy? You would probably say, well, you deserved it because you're clinching.
Not necessarily,
that's what you would say.
I like clear action.
And that is where your bias shows. That's where your agenda shows, right there.
I didn't say any of that, though. You're saying that. I never said any of that. You said that. I said I don't have a problem with Devin Haney clinching because he couldn't fight Lomachenko on the inside. So he was smart to clinch, right? Very smart. He had to kill the action because he couldn't fight on the inside with Lomachenko.
You
Right?
didn't say that first. You did not say that first, Jimmy. You did not say that first.
So if Lomachenko wants to use roughhouse, look, if someone keeps grabbing you, bro, and holding you in the fight, it's frustrating.
See
bro.
how you're going back and forth? You just did right there. You said it was okay to do it, but it's okay for Lomachenko to throw him.
Listen, man.
I said I'm okay with Haney holding. See, you guys. I mean, look, you guys are clearly Haney fans. I'm saying it's okay for both. It's okay for Haney to hold, and it's okay for Lomachenko to get rough. I'm okay with both.
Throwing down somebody is not part of the fight game. It's not part of.
Yes. There is a distinct difference between clinching, which everybody and their brother knows that Devin Haney in a defensive posture clinches fighters. Right? So, all right, he dropped out.
Lomachenko was clinching as well. Lomachenko was clinching as well. I don't even understand what's the argument. They both were clinching. And another thing, you're dealing with a fighter who's small, has a shorter arm reach length, and you're on the inside. It's always smarter for the person who's taller with a longer arm reach length to clinch, because that person with the shorter arms are able to get off their punches and more solid punches on the inside than somebody with the long. I mean, it's just common sense. It's like basic biology.
It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you say, how much you try to explain it to him. It's always going to be something else.
It's just basic biology, though. Like, do anybody go to school besides this? Like, does anybody go to school? I don't understand.
This guy literally said, "Oh, because you get clinched a lot, it's okay to judo throw somebody. It should be okay. It should be okay to judo throw somebody because you get clinched a lot."
So you should punch. It should be okay to punch behind the head too, then, huh, Divine? We should just be able to punch behind the head too, huh? Because that makes sense. Where?
Yeah, it's like Russell Mora allowing a fighter to punch another fighter in the balls 50 times.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay too, because I don't know. We're just fuck it. Let's just take the gloves off, bare knuckles. We can use elbows, head, everything. Just fucking some like primal backyard like fucking caveman shit. Let's just do that.
Just throw in a chair.
No finesse, no skill, no ability. This shit wild, bro. Listen, I tried to give people credit. They tried to come on here. They want to say their opinion. But the thing is that when you come in here, and it's like you can't hide your bias from me. It's going to leak out one way or the other. This is not the first time. Jimmy's trying to come back in now. This ain't the first time, bro. It's not the first time. But before I bring you in, Jimmy, man, Rick's been, I got to recognize the man Super Chat's been waiting. He says, I want a list of current fighters. You have a better resume than Canelo. I'm a boxing fan who gives credit where credit is due. All right, look, I appreciate the Super Chat. I do. I know we were talking about Canelo at one point, but I don't want to make this about Canelo because that's a whole another 2-hour fucking live. But we will, if you're not subscribed, Rick, subscribe, and I'll be more than happy to talk about Canelo, and we'll break it down. I do think there are not several, but there are fighters currently right now that have a better resume than Canelo, that I believe that are better fighters than Canelo. But like I said, we'll save that for another day. Just make sure you stay subscribed to the channel. But I appreciate you sending love to the channel.
Okay, you want to say who has better? People want to give Cinnamon so much credit for fighting Triple G, right? But can we be realistic, Divine? Old media gave Triple G this credit for being a great fighter when he literally fought nothing but D and C minus fighters, and he did finally get in the ring with a B fighter, which was Daniel Jacobs. Most people felt like he lost that fight, but up until then, that's who he's been fighting, C and D minus fighters, and they gave Cinnamon all this credit for fighting a tough fight against Triple G, which the first two fights I felt like he lost, and that was against Triple G at that time. To me, was no more than a C plus fighter, in my personal opinion, because he's always been fighting nothing but other fighters who was below him, and he's still doing that to this day. To this day, he only has two good names on his resume: Cinnamon and Dan Jacobs. And I mean, I will definitely listen if y'all can name some other names that y'all feel like deserves clout for Triple G fighting.
I think people give Golovkin credit because he was a long-reigning, unified middleweight champion, a future Hall of Famer, and he pretty much cleaned out his division.
Future Hall of Famer fighting who though? Who was the future Hall of Famer fighting who? But who did he beat? Who did he beat? Who was the top guys that he beat?
I'd say Danny Jacobs, Murata, Lemieux, Guillot, Martin Murray. I mean, these were all champions when he beat them.
Who are these people?
Let me put it
reaching,
this way.
Jimmy, you're reaching. Yeah.
Is Triple G on the, hold on, Destiny. Hold on. I'll make it simple for him. Is Triple G on the same level as we're talking about middleweights, right? Middleweights. Is he on the same level as a Marvin Hagler?
Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Hell no.
Okay. So if Canelo beats somebody in the middleweight division, like a Marvin Hagler, then I'm with you. I mean,
bro.
But Triple G is not. He's no fucking Marvin Hagler.
But what A-plus fighters are there? At 68, there's nobody. There are no A-plus fighters at 68 that are proven long-reigning champions with really deep resumes. There's nobody. At 75, obviously, I don't think he beats Bivol or Beterbiev at 75. I think he's maxed out at 68. But a fight with Beterbiev, I mean, come on, is he really going to, I like Canelo, but he ain't beating no Beterbiev, especially at this stage. It is what it is, bro. At 68,
you said 175 is too much, though. But Lil Buddy was trying to fight a light heavyweight with that what's his name? Hukuma Matata dude. He was trying to fight the the dude that nobody even heard of. So y'all was all on board for him fighting that cat, right? But he was not too small for that one. But because
when you lose Destiny, usually it kind of shows your ceiling, right? Because when you're on a 10-year undefeated run, which Canelo was, right? He was on a 10-year undefeated run, going through 54, 60, 68, and 75, where he beat a lot of champions, unified, etc. He was on a good clip, but now he's lost. His stock has fallen, so you got to assess it differently, right?
If I was to tell you the truth, Sinner already had losses on his resume. He already had, Mayweather. He already had Lara. He already lost to Triple G twice. He already had 4 losses. Bill was just number 5.
He didn't lose to Lara, man. He didn't lose to Lara. Like, come on, man. You don't score fights off running, man.
I mean, what are you talking about running? What is running? Because Oscar De La Hoya actually ran against Trinidad. What are you talking about running? Footwork is not running. That's that racist talking point that a lot of racists like to use. When anytime somebody utilizes footwork, then it's running.
Destiny, with your history, you should not be throwing stones with your history, Destiny. Because I've been a panel with you and the things you've said, Destiny. So you can't be talking about anyone being racist. Because I know your history, Destiny. I know why you keep getting through the panels.
Divine, who the fuck I am? What the fuck are you talking about, Jimmy? Why you get so animated? Why'd you get so animated? Why'd you get so animated for? Why'd you get so animated? Why did you get so animated when I said that's racist talking points?
Because you call me a racist and that's wrong. You're the racist.
Oh, truth hurts, baby boy. Truth hurts.
This is why your husband left you. This is why your husband divorced you. This is why your husband left you. This is why. This is why your husband divorced you, Destiny. Because you're a miserable bitch. That's why. This is why your husband left you, Destiny.
A man has never left me. A man has never left me. A man has never left me.
This is why your husband cheated on you.
A man has never left me. A man has never left me. A man has never left me.
Past your prime. Past your sexual prime, Destiny.
Why are you talking
your
about
pussy's all burnt out, Destiny. Your pussy's all dried up, Destiny.
Hurt dogs.
This is why you mad. This is why you mad. Your pussy's all dried up. Destiny, you're past your prime. You're past your prime. Your husband cheated on you. This is why your husband cheated on you. This is why your husband cheated on you, Destiny.
That's why
I've got receipts on you.
You're right. Hurt dogs will holler, though. Hurt dogs will holler.
All right, cool.
He's really emotional about that shit.
All right, man. All right.
You don't like to be called what it is to your face, huh? Like the truth.
Listen, Listen, you're a toxic bitch. That's why your husband left you.
Oh, that's what I am, a toxic bitch. That's what it is, baby. That's
Well,
fine.
that's
I
why
could
you
be all
divorced
that.
her.
I could be all that, but the truth still remains that you're a racist, and that's
The
what you
truth is,
are.
your pussy's
That's
dried
what
up.
it is.
You're a racist. This is why your
Yeah,
husband left you. Shout
Why?
out to your ex-husband.
Why?
Shout out to your ex-husband.
Why did this get so personal so
I
quick?
don't even know. I
See,
don't think I said
see,
racist
see.
talking points. That's all I said was
Why,
racist
why,
talking
why, why
points.
would you call me a racist? Divine, why would you call me a racist when she's the racist?
No, she
I find
said
that
that
very
it is
offensive.
a racist talking point that is put out in the media all the time. That if it's a black fighter who moves, they call him a runner. That's what
I
she's
said
saying.
Caleb
She
Plant
didn't
was a
say,
runner.
Jimmy, you're a
No,
racist.
I
She
said
says it
Caleb.
is a
Okay.
racist talking point. So
Yeah, but if I call Caleb Plant a runner and Erislandy Lara a runner, one dude's white, one dude's black. Like, come on, man. Like that is.
You know why you say that about Caleb Plant? Because who Caleb Plant? Who he fucks with hard? What is his core base of fans? Who are they? Who they look like?
I have no idea, man. I mean, where's he
Oh,
from?
okay. No, you don't know.
From the
You don't have no
Midwest,
idea.
man.
We got it. We didn't
but
know. We didn't
I
know.
want to, Jimmy, I want to say this because this is the second time now. This is the second time now where you come onto the panel. Now, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's coincidence or if it's just unfortunate circumstances. But
Good.
you've clashed with two people that come on my panel that's very loyal to my channel and always support my channel. And for some reason, you've clashed with both of them. And for some reason, there seems like some deep-rooted beef between K-Rod and now Destiny. Now, I don't know what to say about that, but when you start coming out talking about I got receipts against you and I've been paying attention about how you talk and this and that, that's kind of creepy, bro. That's
The
kind of
thing is,
creepy. I ain't gonna
Devon,
lie
if
to you,
someone
bro.
if someone attacks me
Almost like
personally, I'm not gonna take it, bro.
hold on,
Again,
hold
I'm
on,
the
hold
heat to
on,
talk
hold
boxing,
on.
bro.
I'm being nice.
All right,
I'm being nice. I'm being
I'm
nice.
cool with you, bro. I mean,
It's
we're cool,
kind of
bro.
like you've been waiting for this moment. You've been
No,
waiting. You've
that's
been
not true.
waiting. You've been watching Destiny on other panels or whatever the case may be. You don't like what she says or what she does, or you've obviously been paying attention to her personal life, talking about her pussy. I ain't trying
I've
to
been
talk
on
about
panels
no
with
woman's pussy unless I actually know the pussy, because that's just a little bit suspect to me. But on another case is that again, it's twice now. So you're
him. I
like
didn't do
collecting cases on people and waiting for a moment to come on another man's or woman's panel and wait for these people to jump in because you know that they're subscribed to the channel and there's a likelihood that they might show up.
No, bro. I just came
That's the
into talk
type of
boxing
energy
with
that
you.
I'm getting.
But he
No,
don't
no.
I
know
don't,
Let
about
me
Judge Jack.
clear
He
up.
don't know shit about my
I'll
Judge
clear up.
Jack. I
and
mean,
I
it's
don't know
banana.
why, and I don't know why you got to talk about another. Like, if you don't agree with that, here's my thing: if you don't agree with Destiny's boxing talk, and you don't like the fact that she pointed out that she's bringing up a racist talking point and that rubbed you the wrong way, you have a right to say, hey, I don't agree with that, whatever. But as soon as you start saying that's why your husband left you and your pussy's dried up and all this crazy talk, like that's just, come on, bro. Like,
Listen,
you're gonna respect women on my channel regardless on how you may feel about them.
Listen,
I'm
bro.
gonna
At
tell
the end
you
of the
that
day, my
straight up and down.
I've never attacked, bro. I'm cool with you. I've never attacked anyone. But if someone comes at me sideways, it is what it is, bro. I'm not gonna let anyone disrespect me on a panel over boxing. I'm just here giving my opinion.
She didn't disrespect you, bro. That's the point you're missing. She said that there is a common racist talking point where people criticize black fighters for moving and they call them runners because it normally happens. And by the way, to your point about Caleb Plant, he's thrown in that box too. They're calling him a runner too.
Yeah.
So the thing is, she's saying, and you took it. It's like you were waiting for Destiny to say anything related to the word racist, and you were ready to pounce.
Well, I mean, I find it ironic though. Over the history of Destiny is calling someone racist. I don't, you know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. At the end of the day, she said, Jimmy, guys like you go to the typical racist argument. That's literally what she said. And when I put her in her place, something her ex-husband should have done a long time ago, it is what it is, bro.
You put me in my place, honey. You can't put me in my place, boo. First of all, you never put me in my place. And second of all, that's also very ironic that you said that. It's not only sexist but racist. Not only you're a white male, but you're telling me you're gonna put me in my place because I'm a woman and a black woman.
Well, I think your ex-husband should have put you in your place.
How ironic is that, though? And then I say that you have racist talking points. You do. You have racist talking points. There you go.
That's why you're single. This is why you're single, Destiny.
Okay, single, boo. Okay, okay. Cause you know my life, huh?
But
You know
Jimmy,
my life, huh? You know my life, huh?
But Jimmy, if you think that she like obviously, I mean, okay, let's break it down to the roots now. All right. If you feel that Destiny has said things either here or somewhere else about some racist shit, then I can't comment on that. But what I can tell you is that Destiny, obviously, my camera's on. You know what I look like.
Right.
So she comes in here showing me respect. She don't come in here talking about, oh, Divine, white, you a white dude, fuck this, da, 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 da. She always showed respect to me. So I can only judge Destiny on how she treats me. Right.
Okay.
And so I've never heard her on my channel talking about fuck white people this and fuck white people that. She's never, I mean, obviously, why would she do that knowing that I'm white? So that don't even make no sense.
Okay.
Now,
so my thing is,
so what I'm saying is that when you bring up, this is why you're single, this is why nobody loves you, this is why that you're like you know what I'm saying? It's just not, and of course this is my opinion, it's just not a man thing to do. It's just not
Destiny,
a manly thing to do.
Would you say Destiny's ladylike though? As a woman, would you say she's a classy woman?
I'm not her dad. Right. I'm not her daddy. She's going to talk and conduct herself as she sees fit. I'm not her dad to tell her, hey, Destiny, you need to act more like a woman. That's not my responsibility. She's not my wife,
bro, listen,
and she's not my daughter.
I have the utmost respect for women. Listen, if there's classy women out there who conduct themselves in a feminine way, I've got nothing but respect for them. But you treat a hoe like she acts, I mean, she wants to act like a hoe. I'll treat her like
a woman's supposed to act though. Who wrote this rule book on how a woman's supposed to behave and talk and act? That's for somebody who has a little dick, little dick problems, who only, they feel very inferior towards women. Yeah. So then they want to dominate somebody and they're going to try to tell you how you can and cannot behave or talk or whatever the case may be. So, I mean,
you're a woman in her 40s who's single, Destiny. You're not exactly a good example of womanhood, are you? You're in your 40s and you're single, and your dude cheating on you and left you.
For example, of a man, are you, young lady?
I got a question for you though, Jimmy. I got a question for you. It's easy.
Destiny, I wouldn't even fuck you with a condom. Easy. Seriously, you're a nasty bitch.
Jimmy. It's easy to say the things that you're saying here on the internet. Now, I'm not going to assume that the things that you are saying towards Destiny is validated or not, or you truly feel it, or you're just doing it for entertainment value. But I'm going to say that maybe you seriously don't like Destiny because the way she presents herself, you don't like that type of woman. That's fine. But here's my thing, right? Number one, like I said, she's always been she's always been respectful to me. And number two, I'm kind of curious. Would you say these type of things to a woman in real life, to her face? Like if you were to go to a club and you saw a woman acting out, according to you, acting like a hoe, that's what you said. Are you going to say, oh, I'm never going to talk to you? Why are you coming and talking to me? Because you acting like a hoe and your pussy's probably dried up. Would you actually say that to a woman to her face? Or would you do the gentleman thing? Like, I'll tell you what I would do as a man. If I see a woman come to me acting out, acting a fool, doing some crazy shit, loud, obnoxious, whatever the case is, and I'm not comfortable with it, I'm going to say, it's nice to meet you. Have a nice night. And I keep it moving.
Okay, personally,
because I'm not going to disrespect a woman like that. Because at the end of the day, Jimmy, whether you like it or not, the woman is the fruit of the earth. They bring life into this world, something that a man will never understand. So you'd swallow whatever the fuck you got in your whatever, because when you talk like that, you make me feel like some shady chick did you wrong or some shit, and you got some bad energy in you. You got some bad experience, so you trying to take it out on somebody. And also, maybe it's upbringing, maybe it's where you grow up. I don't know, but I grew up with a lot of independent, strong women, and to me, Destiny's no different than any other woman I grew up with. So maybe that's what it is. But if I don't like it, like I said, I don't want that type of female energy around me. Maybe it's to whatever. Like it's not my cup of tea. Then I'm gonna say, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. And I keep it moving.
I'm not going to let anyone
label me a bitch, bro.
I'm not going to let anyone. But here's the thing, bro. I'm not a racist. She's the racist. So how can
Okay,
she label me? Like, come on.
that's
How
fine.
can she label me
That's
a
fine.
racist?
That's fine. I'll be all that, boo. It's kind of funny though. You say I'm racist though, but what power do I have to affect anybody who like? I don't have power. Racism is about what power and structure, right? Here
Yeah,
in
I'm
good
not.
old, good
I just
old
came here to
America,
talk boxing.
good,
I'm
here
not here
in good
to,
old
exchange
America, here in
philosophies.
good
I'm
old
not here to
America,
exchange philosophies.
and
No,
here
I
in
get it.
good
I'm
old
not here to exchange
America,
philosophies.
and here in good old America, black folks have none of those. So I don't
Okay.
understand that
Well, I'm
what
not
you're talking
American,
about.
so I can't speak on
Yeah,
that. I'm not
same
American. I can't
thing in
speak on
England
that.
too. Same thing in England too. Same thing in England too. They no, we don't have the kind of power that you speak of. So therefore, me being racist is not a thing. That's just stupidity talking, and that's
But
what you are.
Destiny, you're not a reflection. You listen, Destiny. You are not a reflection of anyone, though. So what are you talking about? You,
Okay, whatever that means, because that sounds real
no,
stupid.
but you're not. No, but you're not a reflection of anyone or any
I'm not
movement
a
or
reflection of
community.
anyone.
You're
Okay,
just
that
some
sounds real stupid.
single washed up. You're some single
Okay,
washed up.
okay, okay. I'm
Hunter
single on my
prime.
stuff. I'm single on my stuff. Okay, you're right. You're right. Uh huh. I'm
No, I know
single
I'm
on
right.
my
I
stuff.
know I'm right
Yeah. Uh
because
huh.
I've heard you admit this. I've heard you admit this stuff, so I know I'm
Yeah,
right.
you admit that. You heard me say I was single and washed up. Bitch, you a fucking
Well,
lie.
you didn't say washed up, but
Don't
I mean
fucking
you're in your
lie.
40s and
Don't fucking lie.
you have a trouble keep. Well, your
Don't
husband will still be
fucking
with
lie.
you. I mean, let's be honest, Destiny. If you're that great, your husband wouldn't have left you. I mean, let's
My
keep it real.
husband never left me though. Where are you getting this from? I never said my husband left me. Never once have I
No,
ever said
no,
that.
no, no, no. You own H money, and you told us that your husband cheated on you and left you. So stop
Okay,
lying,
I never
Destiny.
said he left me. I never said he left me.
Well, there you
No,
go.
I
Stop
never.
lying then. Okay, then
No,
stop
I
lying
never
then.
said he
Because you know
left
I've
me.
got
I
All
proof.
right,
never said
all
I've
he
got
right,
left
all
me.
proof
right,
on
all
you,
right,
Destiny.
all right, all
Never
right,
said that. You're
all right,
So why you
emotional.
gotta
all right,
lie for?
You're
all
emotional.
right,
You're very emotional right now, bro. You
all
need
right.
You're damaged goods. Hey, Destiny, you're damaged
Destiny,
goods.
Destiny,
young lady,
Destiny,
you
Listen,
need
Destiny.
sweetheart, you're damaged goods.
tampon.
You're damaged goods.
Ma'am, you need a tampon because you sound like you need a tampon. You're very
I'm gonna
emotional.
mute you both. I'm
You're,
gonna
you're
mute
very
you.
emotional, sir. Talk to us about your emotions.
I'm
What happened to you?
I-
Who didn't
I'm
hug
gonna
you?
I'm gonna
Who didn't
mute
hug
you.
you? Who didn't
Listen,
hug you, sir? Who didn't hug you, ma'am? Ma'am, who did
Destiny,
not give you the
Destiny,
hugs?
Destiny. Take
Yes,
a
sir.
deep breath. I
Hey,
got you.
Destiny, what's up, Destiny?
I
Baby
got
boy,
you.
Divine.
or
What's
Gucci.
what's up, Mastermind? Yeah.
Hey, hey, man, rest in peace to Jerry Springer. You see, hey, rest in peace to the legendary Jerry Springer. Boy, I seen you was trying to get the piece. You was trying to do the piece up here. I say, let me get on, man. This is getting crazy. But to the Lomachenko Devin Haney fight, I think that's the fight of the year, man. Have you seen that type of high boxing IQ from both guys? They both should be celebrated, man. And when we got to be honest, you got to go by what you thought when the bell rung before they said the judges. And what I thought was it could go either way. So I didn't know, like, oh, they're going to give it to Haney, they're going to give it to Long. I thought it was a very close fight. So when it's that close, you just accept whatever the judges, go with. But I'm proud of Devin Haney and I'm proud of Lomachenko. It got to be hard for the loser because, Devin Haney would have cried also if he would have lost, because the
Yeah,
stakes
but
so high.
he's been a
I don't
sore
know,
loser the way he's
but
been a sore loser.
I don't know if Devin Haney would have came out and said, "I'm going to file an appeal," and this and that. That's a little bit. It's one thing to get emotional. It's one thing to get sad. Hey, if you lose, you can go into the shower and put the tears down the drain, and no shame.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But when you come out and talking about we're not accepting this and and all that, we're gonna file an appeal, we're gonna fight this to the end and all that. Now that's some sore loser type shit.
Yeah.
Right. And
You got
that's like 2 or 3 hours removed from already taking your L. You have plenty of time to process it and think about it. You got to let that shit go. It's one thing when fighters, like, it's still fresh, their adrenaline's still pumping, and they get on the mic and they're like, I got robbed, this, that, and whatever, right? But
right.
usually by the time fighters get to the podium, they've digested it. It's kind of reminiscent in ways when Manny Pacquiao lost to Mayweather.
Yep.
And then Manny Pacquiao came out talking about, oh, I couldn't use my shoulder.
Yeah, that was bad, wasn't it? That was the worst, man. That was the worst. Pacquiao and Deontay Wilder, that was bad. I didn't like his antics, but I still respect him.
Marquez as well.
Well,
I mean, the dude got dropped 3 times and he was complaining about he got robbed. He was lucky he got a draw in the first fight.
Yep.
This stuff happens, man, with fighters. They get emotional. Especially, I mean, they got egos the size of Mount Rushmore. You know, all these fighters. You know, they don't think they can be beat. So yeah, I'm okay. It's like even when Anthony Joshua was acting a fool, I was like, all right, bro. Like, I feel you. You lost twice to the same man. Like that's a lot to swallow, right? Like,
especially the Usyk, man.
Usyk beat your ass twice
from cruiserweight. He's just too good, man. He's a like a Rubik's cube. He's hard to figure out.
Very hard, right? And it's just, you know, it's just a bad look. And how do you come back from that? Because it's one thing to take an L. I'm not a Lomo fan. I'm a bit indifferent, but if I was a Lomo fan, to be honest with you, I wouldn't like him sitting up on the podium talking about I'm going to appeal it. Like, if anything, you should be trying to get a rematch.
Yep.
Like, if you thought that you won the fight, that's what you should be talking about.
You know
I think I won the fight. Let's do a rematch. Let's run it back. That's what he should have been saying.
I could accept this from him. This is the first time he's ever done this. You know what I'm saying? It would be a little bit easier to swallow. You know, but he's acted like this every time he's lost. He's done it.
Except the first time, Destiny. Remember the first loss? He handled that very graciously with Orlando. He was very gracious. Remember when he got hitting his balls over 100 times?
Yeah, he did. I mean, he handled it a lot better, but still he ended up coming back later saying he won the fight and all stuff kind of foolery.
Oh, he did?
Yes. You hear him just say in his mind he's never lost a fight.
You right. He did say that.
Yeah, so I mean,
think Lomachenko knows at the end of the train now. I mean, this was his last chance to do all the things he wanted, right? Step up to elite level, fight for all the belts, make history. He failed. So that must be tough, man, because it's never going to come again. He's never going to become undisputed.
And let me say this, like, as a professional athlete, I've played professional level, and I've, you know, when you try to do many things at once, something is going to go on the decline. And what I'm saying is that, and all respect to him, he went back to the Ukraine to defend his country.
Yep.
No problem with that, but you're not boxing, right? And so it's hard to be the hero of everything. It's like most. That's why most athletes they play. You know, in high school, they're a high level athlete in many different sports, but usually they pick one because you can't do it all, right? And he was trying to do it all. He was trying to be a hero in the Ukraine, and then he tried to come back and fight the undisputed champ.
Bo Jackson. Deion Sanders.
It is what it is. And I have respect for the man, like, going back to defend his country, doing what he felt was right. But, and also give him credit for when he came back, he didn't take a tune-up fight. He went for the undisputed champ. So I respect him for that. But you gotta accept the loss like a man.
But Divine, you still got the other two youngins you can go. He still can go after some of that Tank smoke and some of that Shakur smoke. So it ain't over yet because he had a great performance. So he didn't get beat down until they beat his ass down. Then he could give up. He still got two other youngins out there he could fight and possibly win one of them.
Shakur Stevenson has beat the shit out of Lomachenko. That's not a winnable fight for him at this stage. That dude is just way too skilled, man. I think he's one of the best fighters.
I disagree. I think it's a 50-50 fight for Shakur. And I tell you why I think it's a 50-50 fight Shakur. Shakur has never fought A-level fighters. He has not. And everybody want to say Oscar Valdez, and I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of flack back behind this. Oscar Valdez is not an A-level fighter. He's every bit of maybe a C+ fighter, but he's not an A-level fighter. Oscar Valdez doesn't have that kind of pedigree behind him with the fighters he fought and beat. I thought he lost against his Lopez cat. He definitely lost against that Brazilian cat, Roberson Conceição.
Haney doesn't have the skills of a Shakur Stevenson, though. Like with Shakur, he can box in the pocket, he can box at range, he can sort of box
in the pocket. He does not like inside fighting at all. Shakur does not like it. If you notice, anytime somebody got in close on Shakur, he does not like it. He ties you up. And Shakur does not have long arms. Shakur only has a 68, 69-inch arm length. So no, he does not like inside fighting. No, he's not an inside fighter at all. No, he's not. Every time Oscar Valdez got in close on him, he tied him up and then put him up against the ropes or whatever. He's not an inside fighter. No, he does not like that. If anybody watched any of Shakur and Devin's sparring matches, Devin Haney was the more aggressive. Devin Haney did land nice punches. It could those boxing those sparring matches could go either way.
Yep.
That's the truth either way. If you however you want to judge it, how you see it, when it comes down to judging, it could go either way.
Yep.
Shakur was way more defensive than Devin was.
And
Shakur's
Tank
a
is a
lefty,
problem for everybody.
No, Lil Tank
Let's not forget about,
he's a problem for
forget about Tank.
No, Lil Tank's a problem for Hooked on Phonics. That's what he's a problem for. No.
I agree with that.
You don't think,
Tank's a problem for Rolly and
but-
Hector Garcia.
But you got to admit, Tank hasn't fought anybody on the level of Lomachenko, and Devin has. So he got the edge up on them with the experience now.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true, but Tank has something that all of these guys don't have.
He has
What-
the
What you talking
power.
about, education?
One punch knockout power.
He got hooked on. He need hooked on phonics is what he got a leg up on. Hooked on phonics is for him. But other than that, he's been knocking out nothing but C and D level fighters. And he struggled with a one-legged old Gamboa. A one-legged old Gamboa. He struggled with him. It
Divine,
took him 12 rounds to finally get.
hey Divine, it's gonna be so funny when Devin Haney get the decision against Tank and everybody be crying. They gonna cry again, just like they cry for Loma. They gonna say Tank got robbed. Tank got robbed. That's gonna be funny. They gonna be like, Devin Haney must be touched by the Lord. He keep. Yep. I think he gonna get it, man. The decision.
He's been anointed by Jesus himself.
Yep. Allah, you know he prayed to Allah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, correct me. Allah anointed him.
Lomo was down with Jesus.
He's the chosen one.
Right. You remember Lomachenko said, I want to thank Jesus Christ for this loss. He said, I want to thank. Hey, but I like Lomachenko, but mark my words, Divine, you gonna remember this. He is gonna lose a close decision just like Lomo, and everybody gonna cry again. They gonna be like, his father pays off the judges every fight. I hate Bill Haney.
Yeah. I mean, one thing to be excited about as a boxing fan is like 130 to 135 is stacked. Like,
yep.
It's back to what it used to be back in like the Pretty Boy Floyd era, and when 130, 135 was heating up, when you had like Diego Corrales and Mayweather and all these guys. It's back. So it's something to be excited about. And we're going to see how long Devin Haney can hold on to these belts.
Devin Haney hurts him on 40 though.
I think Bob Arum should, if Bob Arum was smart, he'd feed Lomachenko to Shakur because, I mean, I know what you guys are saying, but I mean, no offense to Devin Haney, but he's no Shakur Stevenson. This guy's a real lefty who can bang. You can actually outbox. You can box, inside the pocket. I mean, look what he did to the last dude. Walked him down, beat the shit out of him, and knocked him out. Yeah, I think Shakur is the class of the division. And Devin Haney better move up because Shakur Stevenson, he'll take those belts from him, man.
So you think that Loma will go 0 for 3 against the youngsters? Or 0 for 4, matter of fact. Lopez, Tank, Haney, and Shakur, you think he lose all 4 of them?
I think Tank is the most winnable fight for him stylistically because Tank is a guy that counter punches you, circles you. It's kind of basic. A guy like Shakur is just way too much, man. You're talking about the youth, the size, the skill, the power, the speed, the angles. He's going to beat the fucking shit out of Lomachenko.
Whoa. We ain't seen that. But what do y'all think about Lomachenko always losing the close fights? You know, he win the blowouts, but every close fight he's in, he lost.
Because he's a slow starter.
Oh, okay.
He's a slow starter. He does that all the fucking time. He did the same thing against Teofimo.
Yeah.
He comes out and he's like he's too worried about being slick and using his footwork instead of actually putting fucking work in. And that's what Destiny was saying, is that like you can't give Lomachenko the fight because he's just not putting in work. You know what I'm saying? He's just moving his feet around, and he looks nice, but he's not scoring points.
I think he downloading data.
And then he could be, but by the fucking 8th, 9th round, it's too late.
Right, right. But T.O.,
too
I think
late.
he was worried about the punching power early because, you know, he knocked you out in the first, second round. I think he was really worried about T.O.'s power.
Could
No,
have
but
been, could
Divine,
have been, but Cambosis wasn't worried about T.O.'s power.
Yep,
Cambosis stepped to him
yep. And
do you
won the,
blame, do
yep,
you blame
you're
it
right
on,
about that.
and he
Sandor
do
dropped
you
him.
blame it on the environment, though?
Sandor Martinez, he actually, I thought he beat T-Ho. I thought Sandor won that fight, but I wasn't judged. So
No, I want to ask Divine, do you blame it on the environment though? Because if the crowd is telling you you won, if the fighters are telling you you won, if the journalists are telling you you won, wouldn't that kind of build like a false sense of reality in Lomachenko's mind? I mean, everyone's telling him he won the fight. Obviously, the commentators, the crowd, the journalists, the fighters, even the trainers in attendance. So I know what people are saying that and he's a sore loser. I mean, this
I
isn't the
don't.
first time he's cried like a bitch. But
I would
I mean, no,
say
everyone's
that
telling you you won. So
I understand, but I would say that as a professional athlete like myself, you have your hype team, you have people around you that are always going to build you up, but you know deep down in your soul, rather you did enough or not.
Yep.
He
You gotta
knows.
close the show because you only people's opinion count is the three judges. It don't matter what I think, you think, the fighters think. It's only but what goes in the history books. Because they say Marvin Hagler beat Sugar Ray Leonard. No, he didn't. Go look it up. It don't matter
nah,
public perception. Your hands are the judges. So you knock the motherfucker out and don't leave it up to the judges.
and the public
I thought
perception
Leonard
has
won that
changed on
fight.
this fight though. People's gone back and said, "Oh, I've rewatched the fight." And some people cut straight out said they felt like Devin actually won. Then you have people that said, "Oh, it was a draw. It could go either way. They don't have no problem with the decision." And old media, Mike Coppinger had Devin Haney winning. So the journalists, no, they had Devin Haney winning too. Only people that really had Loma winning was that pro Loma crowd that we hate our own American fighters here in America. If they look like they too black, too much melanin, or the fucking Tim Bradley with his coon ass. He's always doing some cooning and buffoonery with
Yeah,
him.
but Shakur,
So,
yeah,
but then he came back and said, "Oh yeah, we watched the fight, and I don't see it the same way no more." Fuck out of here,
yeah,
Tim.
but
You did all. You already damaged everything.
Tim
You already did.
Tim Tim
Shakur
was
got in the
tough to
ring and said
listen.
it was a robbery, though. Shakur Stevenson got in the ring after the fight and said Lomachenko dominated Devin Haney. So I don't think
And
it's
then
just
changed his
the
mind.
racist
And
white
then
fans.
changed his mind. And
And
then
then
changed his
changed his
mind.
mind. That was pathetic for him to change it. That showed you he a snake. That's why you know he a snake by him changing because he know his snake was revealed. So now he try to come and fix. Well, I did
You say
rewatch it
what?
and I think it was a draw. Now that show you not a true friend because a true friend would have stood up what he said.
Facts.
But he didn't say he won, though, did he? He didn't say Haney won. He said
It
either
was a
Loma
draw.
won or was a draw. Yeah, Tim Bradley came out, Sean Porter. I mean, I don't think it's just a racist white fan's destiny. I mean, if anything, I think I've seen more black boxers come out to defend Lomachenko than white boxers. So I don't think that's a valid point.
Yeah, I think Devin Haney is the most hated champion since Jack Johnson. I've never seen the type of hate I've seen for Devin Haney. And I'm talking about before
Tank
this fight.
Davis,
Facts.
Tank Davis had it 9-3 for Lomachenko. Tank Davis came out and said he
Oh,
thought
man,
Lomachenko won
that's
9 rounds.
fool. I mean, first of all, he needs to learn how to read a book. First of all, when he learned tell me about scoring the damn fight, but we already know he's the number one hater. He hates Shakur. He does not. Every time somebody mentions those two names, he gets shook. He start shaking and dancing in his damn corner or whatever. He does not count. Period. That's
Tank Davis coach,
the
his coach Calvin Ford had it 8-4 for Haney. Tank Davis coach. He is like, I thought they was gonna rob Devin Haney. So it's nobody. You can't be like, well, when they agree with you, nobody's gonna change your mind. If you think a certain way, it's not gonna be like, well, so many people think that, so now I got to think Loma won. No, I'm gonna think the same thing. Like I said, it could when the bell rung, I felt, hey, this is a close one. It can go either way. That's how close fights are.
when the
Well, I
bell
had it. I
off,
had it even. I had it even after the 11th round.
I had it not
Loma.
three when it fell wrong because I saw what Lomachenko was doing. I saw what he wasn't doing. All I saw was a lot of shoe shining and fighting in spurts. And I've never liked that style. I always thought that was a weird style of fighting. That does not make
You
you
didn't
win
see
a
him
fight.
turning. You didn't see him turning Devin Haney, pushing him back, hurting him multiple times. You didn't see him taking the jab away. You didn't see him landing combinations on the inside. You didn't see any of that. was most of the
Yeah,
world.
you got to give both of them credit though. They both. I mean, Devin Haney did work too. He did good also. And body shots. It was good work on both sides.
I think those body shots hurt Lomachenko because every time people hit him with one of those clean body shots, Lomachenko would definitely reset. He would reset and then he would look very frustrated. But then he'll come in with those little flurries, which he would throw a lot of them, but they weren't landing. They were not, and
Yep.
if they did land, they didn't land cleanly. It was not like no clean. And then the few shots that people saw, the headshots are very easy to score. Anytime you see somebody throwing and landing a headshot, most people look at that. And that's very easy to score or whatever. And you think, oh yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely one. That was the best punch of the fight. Was it? Was it? Same thing like
I think it boils down to two things for Jimmy. It boils down to two things. One, Lomachenko didn't control the time. He didn't have good time management. Number two, I guess there's three. The second one is he kind of started late again. He didn't really get into a nice rhythm until about 9, 10, 11 is when he really started to come on. And Devin was getting a little bit fatigued, right? But Devin had a little bit more in the tank in that 12th round, right?
Yeah,
And then the third thing is not enough body punches, basically non-existent. He didn't go to the body at all. Because if the head is not available, and Devin Haney's very hard to hit flush. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
So you got to go to the body, and he didn't do that. And I guarantee you, when he goes and looks at the tape with his team, the first thing he's going to say to the team is, I should have went to the body more. The second thing he's going to say to his team is, I should have had better time management. I should have been working more in these rounds rather than trying to set traps all the time, because that's what he was doing. He kept trying to set traps for Devin Haney, but Devin wasn't falling for it. That's the thing, is that occasionally he did fall for it, and Loma would catch him here and there, but it wasn't enough, right? He's too busy spending a minute and a half, trying to keep his head off the line, using his footwork, trying to set up a trap. He was trying to do the pull counter with his left hand all night. He was way too dependent on that left hand. Very reminiscent to Manny Pacquiao in that southpaw position. Really too focused on trying to land a big left hand. He should have just boxed. He should have boxed smart in the inside, work up and down, body, head, up and down. There was no need to try to land up a big, powerful left hand. I mean, Lomachenko is a good puncher, but he's not a knockout puncher like a Teofimo.
Right.
He doesn't even have power like Shakur. So why would you be so fixated on trying to get the left hand? And Devin Haney's looking for that left hand. What do you think he's been doing for the past 3 months in sparring partners?
But
He's ready.
Most people brought into that whole hype that Devin Haney's chinny because of that one thing with Linares.
Yep.
So everybody brought into that hype train, which is just not a thing though. Even with Linares being a heavy puncher as he was, he took that. Yeah, he got rocked by Linares. But let's be realistic, it was the very end of the round, and Devin Haney knew the bell was about to ring. I don't think he wasn't, consciously thinking about he's going to be caught with something. So that was on him. I'm not trying to say like make no excuse, because that was definitely on him. But when you're being caught off guard, when you're not expecting a punch, that's the ones that usually hurt you.
Yep. Knockout punch.
Yeah, if he still was on his guard like he was all the rounds or whatever, and knew that punch was coming like he did, he was expecting he would get hit or whatever, then that punch wouldn't affect him as much as it did. But he literally had, was looking over there at the clock or whatever it is that they look at when inside the ring, and he just kind of like, oh, okay, and he got caught. Okay, he got caught. Got it good. Everybody gets caught. Everybody gets hurt. That's not a thing that where nobody just never gets hurt.
Yep.
What do you think about calling out Prograis though? What do you guys think about Devin Haney calling out Regis Prograis? I think he's a move up to 140. I mean, the kid is clearly killing himself to make 35. I mean, he's a young man, he's growing, so I think that's a smart move. He'll be bigger, stronger at 140, and I think he'll have better stamina.
Prograis is very dangerous. Prograis is a very dangerous fight for him. That's not a guaranteed win. And the fact the way he's moving, the way he moves, you got to put some respect on his name. He doesn't call out the the weaklings of the division. He goes for the top dogs.
Yeah,
But
I
Tank
agree. I
Davis.
mean,
He got
Lomachenko,
Tank Davis
ROBBED.
issues to clear up. He got to fight Tank and then move up. Get that Tank out the way, man. You need that under your belt.
Lil Tink Tink is never gonna fight him. I mean, it sounds good. Tink Tink is
hmm
not gonna fight him, and like Lil Buddy just said, he
It
definitely
doesn't.
killed himself to make this weight though. You saw, I've never seen Devin wagering. Came that 10th and 11th, the ninth, 10th and 11th round, he started looking like
hmm
he started breathing out his mouth more. Like he literally looked. You could tell he was wagering. He just
It
was able to
What do you
dig
think
down
of the
deeper. That's
narrative,
rough.
though?
it don't matter
What do you
what
think
we
of the
think on this panel, on rather we think that he should move up or whatever. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't fight Tank, if he doesn't fight Shakur, if he doesn't fight
He needs to stay away
Teofimo
from Shakur
potentially as
seriously.
well, then he's going to be criticized heavily for that. He's going to be criticized for winning the belts and then vacating them and moving up to 140 and not defending them against the best fighters in the division.
But Tink don't even want to fight him. He already said Lil Tink Tink has told everybody every chance he gets, he doesn't want to talk about Devin or Shakur. He does not want to fight. He's not interested in fighting them. So that's the whole thing. And Shakur Stevenson, it sounds good that he keeps calling Devin name or whatever. He already know that fight's not happening. That fight's just not going to happen. And you know that too, Divine. You already know it's a whole lot of politics behind that. So you already know that fight's not happening. Sounds good, but it's not happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, he'll get criticized though, even though it's out of his control.
Yeah, it really has nothing to do with him. And, I could, criticize people when I feel like, it's in their control to make a fight happen or not. But when you truly know it's the powers that be and there's other things behind the scenes, the reason why fights don't happen, that has nothing to do with the fighters. Criticize the game of boxing at that point. And Shakur know that, so that's why Shakur keeps saying this man's name. He already know that fight is not likely to happen. Not now. 140, 147. Probably 147 is when the two's actually going to meet, I think, personally. I don't think Tank is ever going to fight either one of them personally.
You could be right. I'm done trying to worry about what Tank's going to do. That shit give me a headache. So I'm focused on other shit, man. Tank going to do whatever Tank going to do. If he fights, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But look, man, it's like 1 a.m. for me out here, so I'm gonna get up out of here.
Okay.
It was a good conversation for the most part. It got a little bit chippy, but
Divine, I'll never take none of that shit to heart. Little buddy ain't never gonna. It takes a lot to hurt my fucking feelings. Shit, my mama talk worse to me than that.
that's why. That's why I ain't trying to be no like savior or none of that shit. But
Divine, one thing's for sure and two things for certain. Nobody never got saved me. Shit, I always got my own. I can always hold my own. Little buddy does not. If you get emotional about some shit I said before, then shit, that's what it is. I take shit like I take it with stride and keep moving.
I'm sure the chat was entertained, so at least we got that out of it.
Right.
We got a little Jerry Springer entertainment going on. So
it's you to bring your white ass back over here to America, though.
Yeah. I heard that the LGBC is going to put something together right in August or something. So are they doing that get together?
2023. I'm like, didn't they just do that? But yeah, that was 2022. They did that. Yeah, they always do like that.
Yeah.
But
So I might try to make it back for that. That's my goal. So we'll see.
All right now.
All right. Well, you take it easy out there. Be easy on them, man. Be easy on them. You know what I'm saying? Be easy on them. Take it easy.
All right, honey. You have a good evening or good morning, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm about to sleep in the morning. You know
sleep
what I mean?
morning.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you on here later.
Okay, babes.
All right. Bye.